Radio fans, and welcome back to another episode of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. I'm your host, Bobby Tamburo, and joining me as always is the lovely star of the program. He gets 8 hours of sleep every night. Give it up for Davey McDonald.
Thank you, Robert, and thank you to the Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite fans making this the #1 radio retrospective podcast in the world. Because as far as we know, we're the only one that's doing it at this point. Yet again, the innovator, which is the Dave Man. I do want to say to all the folks watching the Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite, you probably know this already. If you're watching this literally 2 months from now on YouTube, that's why you got to subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/EastsideDave, because you get the shows a month to 2 months before anyone else. But the reason why I'm saying that is because 2 months from now will be what, Robert? It'll be November. You'll have no understanding. This whole statement won't make any goddamn sense. But to the Patreon folks, they know we just had Ron and Fez, celebrity Bennington show cast member Chris Pepper Stanley this past Monday on Labor Day. Everybody else takes off work. Not the Davey Mac Sports program. Bobby T was there. Roy Harder was there. The Dave Man was there. We even had Big A Andrew Gold there. And then all of a sudden, who comes running through the goddamn curtain? Chris Pepper Stanley joined us for our Labor Day NFL football preview special. You know, the Davey Mac Sports programs, we like to be about an hour long. That's always the goal, to make an hour-long podcast. The Pepper episode was an hour 45. Can you believe this? Unbelievable. Jesus. The reception, Robert. Did you check out the YouTube comments? Have you seen the views yet? It's getting a fantastic
blowing up, yeah.
And this is even with, and I'm just going to acknowledge, some people thought we had a little bit of a technical issue. There was a glitching on Pepper's mic. We're going to throw him under the bus, not us. There was a little tiny glitch, but Bobby T, Bobby Hutch, they worked on it diligently in post, and they got it to where you can hear Pepper. You know what's going on. And I do genuinely believe just the fun and excitement of the episode just dwarfs Pepper's weird little connection thing. And if people were wondering why his voice sounds weird, because he admitted to us he was out till 6 o'clock in the morning having some sort of fucking booze meltdown. So he had a extra hungover voice that made him sound a little bit Andre the Giant-ish.
Well, you have to celebrate Labor Day when you've never really done manual labor ever in your life.
Oh, why? Why would you take a shot at him?
It's not a shot. My point is, like, it's the best job in the world. Like,
I'm kidding. He was fantastic. We had a lot of fun. So you definitely want to go check that out. That was the Davey Mac Sports program NFL preview special, which we did on Labor Day. And again, go check that out. And by the way, Davey Mac Sports program, not just on YouTube, obviously the iTunes, the Spotify, the Amazon Music's audio podcast. The show originated as an audio podcast, and we really, really feel like that's our #1 thing. But hey, what the fuck? Everyone's got cameras these days. Might as well put it on the YouTube too. So just go check it out on all those platforms. And like I said, if you're watching this 2 months from now on YouTube, you got to be subscribing to the Patreon. I mean, come on. It's a $2.50 a month thing. Unless you want to join the certified Dogsy or the certified Davey Act tier, which is $5. and you get some inside scoops and stuff. I actually just cut a couple videos for the certified Davey X regarding this very show because, Robert, I thought we were going to Great Adventure.
So did I. It's not my fault here, Dave.
We're not.
If we have to figure out who was the Judas of the Six Flags team, it's Daniel Bobo Curlin. No. And I'll throw him under the same bus we threw Peppy Hamburgers.
No, listen. I am going to take this over, and I am throwing both of you nitwits under the bus. So, for starters, we had the whole Great Adventure special planned out last Thursday, and then Bo bails on us. So then we say to Bo, we go, you motherfucker, you little fucking piece of shit. So I says to him literally, and I say to Robert, okay, and I meant this. I go, we're going to, let's see if Bo can do it next Thursday. He says he can. That's today. What is today? September
5th.
So I says to Robert, if Bo bails on us for the September 6th Thursday Great Adventure Tales from the Satellite special, the special won't be Great Adventure. It will be driving to Bo's house, capturing it on film as we burn it to the fucking ground. And that's kind of what I meant. But I actually was sort of being serious. Not the lighting his house on fire part, but actually just yelling at him and having that the episode. We're all ready to go. Bo confirms he's going to get his little fucking face to Metro Park in New Jersey. We're going to go there. Bada bing, bada boom. We're going to be... We found out we got Wally Worlded, and the fucking Great Adventure was closed today.
Yeah.
Closed. The second biggest amusement park in North America by landmass, only smaller than Disney World. It's actually bigger than Disneyland and everything else. The second biggest amusement park in North America is closed? Why the fuck are we closing? Do we gotta fucking take John Candy hostage with a gun and demand to fucking ride the roller coaster? I've never heard of something so silly in my entire life. They closed Wally World. You saw what fucking happened at the end of America's Vacation. It was a goddamn hostage situation.
It's so funny you say that because literally I was at the mall to grab supplies and I almost bumped into a fat dude. And I was like, you can't, John Candy looking motherfucker. And then I went, Wally World. I got to see if this park's open. So literally Wally World is why we were not at Six Flags today. Very disappointed.
So the only reason why you checked, because we would have driven there. Me, you, and Bo, all happy, singing, we probably would have even been singing the vacation song. You know, Holiday Road. Holiday Road. We would have been singing that, having a great time. And then, yes, if we would have gotten to the proper Great Adventure and we're outside the gates, I would have taken Bo's head and smashed it into the gates a bunch of times. So, but Bo was responsible for last Thursday, the Great Adventure being closed today. That's all on you, Bobby T.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was open last Thursday when we were all set to go, and I just kind of assumed, and then you know what happens when you assume. I make an ass out of the Tales from the Satellite program.
You make an ass out of you and me. But we always have a plan. There's always a contingency plan with the Dave Van. You see, we always got backups upon backups upon backups. We're still going to do the Great Adventure show. We now got to take a Saturday because it's only open on weekends. But it will be the Haunted Halloween experience this October. We'll be coming to the Great Adventure. We'll take a Saturday out and do it then. Do one of those Haunted Halloween Great Adventure experiences, which actually corresponds to a story I have regarding Ron and Fez and Great Adventure. So it's actually timely in terms of Halloween shit at Great Adventure. So that's okay.
Sounds like I actually did a good job of producing by setting it up for the right time of year.
I'm bailing you out. I'm only bailing you out
I know.
because we have an excellent episode that is full of frivolity and full of fun. And we thought that would be a nice thing, a nice little change of pace. The last episode that we did, lots of controversy, lots of upset feelings.
Yeah. A lot of anger.
Just more madcap chaos. Robert, why don't you tell the folks what today's episode is about?
Today's episode is one that I actually heard. This is before we even got to know each other, and I found very entertaining. So I'm glad we're getting to talk about it. I had questions then. Sorry if I'm rambling a little bit. I was up all night because today we're talking about No Sleep Till Brooklyn and the No Sleep Till Brooklyn challenge.
What are you doing tonight? Monopoly?
Possibly, but
Yes.
I'm not signed in. But my wife is going to play Monopoly with Alki and Solaire.
Why aren't you playing?
It's maybe a long trip to Jersey. I'm not sure if I can make it. I might have some things to do.
You're useless in here. You ought to try to stay up all night tonight and come in tomorrow and be silly guy. What do you say to that? I think this could work for you. Pull an all-nighter. I'm very serious. Pull an all-nighter where you don't get any sleep.
Nothing.
And come in here being the fun, crazy guy that you used to be. Because I miss that guy.
I feel like I am. I feel like I am trying to be silly.
No.
I mean, I am silly, not trying to be.
No,
but-
you're not. I mean, you're sitting in a chair together. You're wearing your hat backwards.
Right.
It's attempts to be silly, but I don't think it's breaking out on the air yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pull an all. So no sleep.
Yeah. Fezzi, you too? All-nighter?
I'll stay up all night.
All right, all-nighter. I want you guys to call each other every half hour.
Okay.
And see if we can't pull this off.
You want us to drink booze or?
Yeah, I want you to drink booze. That'll keep you up.
Yeah.
It's not gonna help.
Well, because without the alcohol, a lot of times, no, I usually fall asleep at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I've always been an early bird.
I could talk to you for hours on end. You're Mr. Excitement. I just saying I'm looking for the fun guy. Not the guy who says stuff like, I like to get to bed early. I'm an early bird. I enjoy a dessert after a meal.
Right.
What am I doing? What has happened here? Who do I play off of? Luckily, I got Hicks. You coming in tomorrow, Hicks?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to laugh at these guys for not getting any sleep.
Nice.
Hopefully, I can get them into tears. That's what I'm really after.
That'll happen about 2 a.m.
When's the last time that you guys stayed up all night?
I haven't done it in a long time, 5-6 years.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, I think I can do it with my motivation and also.
And you guys really want to do this?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. You swearing to Jesus that we can trust you? That there'll be no catnapping?
Swear to Jesus.
Oh, I swear to Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not even. You know what? I'm not even going to shower either. I'm going
Good.
to throw that.
Why?
In.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to shower. I'm not going to.
Fez, don't shower either.
I'm not going to shave. I won't shave.
All right, this is all.
Nothing grows anyway.
And I might not even change my clothes.
That'd be great.
Try not to poop.
And I might have a beer.
And that's different how. Earl, you staying up all night? Can I count on you?
I don't know if I could stay up all night.
Can I count on you?
I'll try, yeah.
He won't.
I can't have you try. I need to count on you.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, there you go. The three guys, three amigos. Put your hats on. Pitsy, stay up all night?
I'm up.
All right, there we go.
Oh, he's up all night anyway
All right.
with the amount of that he does.
He does coke?
I wasn't saying he does that. It was just.
I didn't know you did coke. Do you really, Pitsy?
No, I don't do coke, Ryan.
I didn't think you did.
Sure, you don't. Long Island.
You're already a little sleep deprived.
Bunch drunk.
Yeah.
Earl will be out in a chair in 15 minutes.
I'm just worried about your hearts. You don't get sleep.
I didn't
It's a
think
lot of
about
strain on
that.
your heart.
That's it. The no sleep till Brooklyn and the rambling was only due to your insomnia, not the fact that I saw you take 5 gigantic fucking bong hits 30 seconds before the show.
Plead the fifth.
It's sitting right next to him. Tails up front of the satellite fans. It's sitting, the bong, I mean,
It's
is
whispering
right
to me.
next
Oh,
to
yeah,
him.
yeah. It's going, hit me, hit me.
Does anyone else, folks? He does bong hits and dips. There's the bong hit. Why the chewing tobacco? And I used to dip myself, but that was because I played baseball.
Bad bruxism. Like I like to grind my teeth.
I've never wanted to smoke weed though, and then go for a dip. That's an odd decision to me. Anyway, listen. Today it's no sleep till Brooklyn. It's when Ronnie B challenged me, Fez, Earl, and Pitsy to stay up as long as we could. So
Now,
basically stay up. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we even was this planned ahead of time? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but sometimes
No.
you have to clear. So okay, because
This
he doesn't
was an
actually.
off the cuff. Yeah, this was this strictly popped up
On
during
air.
the show.
And the way
we
it popped,
just decided to go with the challenge. We thought it would be a fun challenge. And let's see how many hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, 48 hours. How long can we go without sleep?
so it didn't even actually start with a how long can we go without sleeping idea. It actually started with your wife was going to play Monopoly with Alki and Solera that evening. And you're like, I don't know, Ronnie B. I'm a little tired. It's a long drive to Jersey. I think I'm not going to. And Ron goes, why don't you just stay up all night? Maybe we'll find that old Dave fun and craziness that we've been missing lately.
What year is this? I know I always ask you this.
You were married.
Okay, so if I was married, it would have been 2000, at least 2007 or 8. So yeah, it's probably around 2007 or 8, I will say. No, I was obviously still the crazy ass Dave and shit like that, but that was Ronnie B having some fun.
Well, you said the same thing to Ronnie B, and he goes, no, I get it. Like, you're sitting in your chair backwards. You got your cap on backwards. You're the fun guy, but it's not hitting the way it used to, Dave. I need the old hot dog cart guy back. And that's like kind of almost the tugging of the ear from Vince McMahon going, like, I'm doing a bit here. Help me work this.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
that's true.
when he says hot dog cart.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, I'm in.
Because as we have discussed, and we won't go into fucking long detail, I never had a hot dog cart. The amount of people who bought, and they're like, I can't believe they gave that hot dog guy a job. And it's like, it takes $50,000 to own a hot dog cart in New York City. I probably would have just stayed outside doing hot dogs, knowing what I know now. Not with SiriusXM or Ron and Fez, but just the world of radio in general. I'd probably be like, a hot dog cart right now sounds like a good gig. I'm outdoors. I'm having a good time. I'm always around hot dogs, which I do like.
And people, you love to talk to people. A hot dog cart.
Talking to people, yeah. There'll be. Would you like sauerkraut on that? Okay, extra 25 cents. What do you mean? You're not going to pay me the extra 25 cents? Then this fucking hot dog ain't for you. Actually, yeah, I might not be the best street hot dog guy, but the point is, I was never a hot dog guy, but now I know what he's saying. He brought me in under the guise that I was a crazy hot dog guy because I was enthusiastic and fun, and this made it seem less like they were hiring a radio person, which at that point I had been in the radio game professionally for 2 years, getting paid to do radio between 90.5, Westwood 1, and 95.9 The Rat. But I was the hot dog. That's fine. Like, no, I think it's funny.
I think it's very funny.
Actually, I'll give you. I will give you a little inside the thing. 4 or 5 months, I guess, into it, like I was like, "Hey, Ron, maybe this is off the air, obviously."
Yeah, of course.
Very meek when I said this. I said, "Hey, Ron, hey, Mr. B, maybe we should move away from the hot dog thing now, and just try to establish me like that." You know when you have a bad idea, Robert, and you say it to me?
I don't know when I have a good idea. So yes, I do. And you give that kind of pause and hesitation, and you're like, how do I say this nicely without crushing him?
Yes. Ron just gave me, I've only been doing this for 20 years, but what the fuck do I know? And they just walked out of the room. No, at the time I was scared shitless. But then I was like, well, there, I guess the meeting's over.
That would be like if the Undertaker went in and was like, "Hey Vince, what if I sell a move here?"
But I mean, he was right because obviously the hot dog thing got me heat, and since I was a heat getter,
yeah,
the hot dog thing was people who were wanting to hate on me was like, they fucking gave the hot dog salesman the producer shop. What the fuck? I have to sit here and listen. So it multiplied the amount of heat that I was always going to get anyway. But still, it did multiply it.
You did say that is how they first introduced you to the show and to the audience, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring that up is it's funny as you guys get sleep deprived, how much the sleep deprived guys go back to that. Like, it's kind of funny that was like not their first impression, but like the first thing they tied to you, so that they keep kind of going back to that as they're sleep deprived. But we're getting a little bit ahead. I do like that the haters were like,
give you that little story.
"Hey, Dave's got a problem. with money, why didn't he sell that hot dog cart that's worth more than his and Rob's cars combined together? Like that never came up.
Yeah, I wish I had that hot dog cart.
But so you say, yep, Ronnie B, you know what? I could stay up all night. And then Fez goes, I could stay up all night too. And that's very telling of Fez. As I was re-listening to this, I kind of thought it was funny how you could make, as Fez had a harder time on air, it was funny how eager and willing he was to jump into anything that wasn't on air but contributed to the radio show. Like when he was trying to switch to executive producer so he could still kind of help and have everything ready to go and, iron out the kinks there. When it came to who doesn't want to talk for a week, Fez is like, I could do that. Let me do that. You know what I mean? Like literally the who doesn't want to shower, the hardcore hygiene challenge. And then this one, he jumps in right away.
That is that's an interesting point. I've never really thought about that before. But I also think that, he just wants to participate.
Right. It's great radio. It's like my dad used to always say in basketball, you can't control how well you're shooting. You can't control a lot of things, but you can play defense and you can box out.
And with Fez, I think that, all any kind of special, like any kind of weird challenge, that's probably, in fact, where he excelled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's any time it was Fez, get dressed up, do something, get dressed up as something crazy, go to O&A show, go on the stripper pole, do something like that. He was going to destroy it.
You're going to be hypnotized to be Opie, all that fun stuff. Yeah,
all that good stuff.
He's always in. So he jumps in. Pepper does not. He doesn't even get invited to. Like he's just kind of clear he's not doing the no sleep challenge. I don't know how that came about. But
how come he wasn't put in there?
I think Ron wanted one awake person to run the board, all kidding aside. Like he kept being like, it's you and me tomorrow, Pepper Hicks, you and me. But so I could see that, but at the same time, Earl is willing to do it. He says he doesn't think
someone to run the board.
Yeah, so he says I don't think he can. Earl goes, I don't know if I can, but I'll try. And Ron goes, don't try. The team's doing it, Earl. And Earl goes, all right, I'm in. So Earl's in.
Earl couldn't go a fucking 2 hours without taking a nap. And this is also a person who would spontaneously faint at the fucking smell of Febreze. Who the hell thought Earl could do this challenge? I myself was very skeptical that Earl could complete just one night.
Well, not just you. Right before the show cut for the day to go into the no sleep challenge, Fez goes, I can't wait to see Earl asleep in 15 minutes in that armchair, because everybody knows his reputation as being a napper. But and you would think of the two, right? If you had to choose which guy you want to get sleep and which guy you want to run the board the next or be up all night. Not Pepper Hicks, we just talked about, was up till 3 a.m. the night before he did our Labor Day show. Yeah. He's got a history of making it through the night. And honestly, I might take him sleepless over Earl with a good night's sleep.
With a good night's sleep. Yeah, that would be a close race. They should do that on Bennington. They should have Pepper go sleepless and Earl
throw the challenge out there.
Earl gets to leave as soon as the show's over, so that he can literally get as much sleep as he absolutely wants. If he wants to get 16 hours or 20 hours, he can get that many hours. That would be a good premise right there.
And we just threw it out there.
All right, someone's got to bring that up.
Man, that's 2069. Yeah, that's a good challenge. Yeah. The Tales from the Satellite Crew throwing out challenges.
Let's go.
That is
Sleepless Pepper versus Sleepy Earl.
I think it would be amazing. My money's on Pepper. I'll give you 100 to 1 odds. But
if they use no sleep till Brooklyn, so we'll call this the Sleepless in Seattle challenge.
And then they can, it's always been you, or you have no different movie.
Yeah, they can write emails to each other or some shit.
You had me at hello.
Oh.
But so there's one more member of the crew who decides to jump in and do the Sleepless Challenge, and that's Pitsy.
Anthony Pizzatola. The ghost, the George Harrison of that era. As much as we've talked about him and brag about him, and I love Pitsy. Still pals, still buddies.
Now, did you think at the time Pitsy was going to have a hard time with this challenge, or did you think it was going to be pretty easy? Do you remember this at all?
No, I thought Pitsy could complete it. You know why? Toot, toot, tootsie, goodbye.
You said the same thing on air.
No, I didn't. I did not listen to the radio.
You went, I don't think he's going to have a problem, Ron. And Ron goes, just wait, Pitsy does coke?
This is so weird sometimes doing these shows. You have to tell them. I don't listen to the audio beforehand for a specific reason. I want to be surprised. I want everything to be fresh. I want these reactions to be fresh. I don't want to be thinking about anything. So I don't go back and listen to anything. I actually do it for Robert. So you guys, the Tales from the Satellite audience, can get a fresh reaction. But sometimes, like lately, you've been telling, like, I say the exact same shit. Fucking 15 years. No, this is like 16 or 17 years later.
Almost 20, yeah.
Jesus.
And Pitsy denies doing coke. And even on air, you're like, I don't know about that, Ron.
Listen, I ain't judging. I love Pitsy, and I'm sure he doesn't anymore. I want that to be on the record. But I can promise you, back in his Long Island days.
That's what you said. He's from Long Island, Ron. What do you think they do on the weekend?
He's a Long Island guy with Long Island friends. And they like to do Long Island stuff. Okay?
They like to do long lines of cocaine. I feel you.
See, the difference between Long Island and New Jersey, everyone's always asking for the difference. Besides accents, the main difference, because, we New York City, Jersey's to the south, Long Island's to the northeast, or whatever you want to say. Big difference is Jersey, beer and weed. Long Island, mixed drinks and Coke. All right?
Staten Island.
That's the difference.
Fentanyl. Heroin.
I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it. It literally is that basic. Me and Pitsy goes out. I'm getting my fucking Guinness. This or that. Someone's got a joint ski. That's wonderful. Pitsy goes out. He's either ordering some fucking Malibu Bay Breeze or some other bullshit and then a little goddamn nose candy.
I mean, I don't like cocaine. I just love the smell. But it is set. You are going to do the challenge. Everybody's in. It's set that you're going to call each other every 30 minutes.
Yes, we had to do that to make sure that we were awake. That wasn't that was a good rule, because otherwise I wasn't going to participate, because I didn't think Earl was going to take this seriously.
And that becomes telling the next day that you didn't think Earl was going to make it. But do you remember what you suggested or how you thought it would be best to make it through the night? Like what you thought everybody should do?
Was I suggesting pal talk?
You were suggesting getting drunk. You were like, how about we booze it up? And Pitsy goes, how come it's always booze or drugs with this guy? And Ron goes, his existence is booze and drugs, Pits. You take that away, what is there?
Fucking Kettle calling the goddamn person black.
I think he may have been a little defensive after you just accused him of doing coke on national radio, but I see your point. Yeah.
All right, he was a little he was a little sensitive because I just called out his very accurate Long Island recreational activities, but that's fine. Here's the thing. When I drink, right, I could stay up forever. Now, it literally depends on when I start drinking. I don't do this as much anymore, Robert. Okay? I'm a grown man. I have responsibilities. And I'm not going to lie, I like a little bit of a weed. And you don't drink to excess when you have a little bit of pot. At least I don't.
No, me neither. And I'll say this about you in this day in particular. You're very good at knowing what to drink when, in the sense of like, I have nothing to do tomorrow. I can get hammered tonight on this, or we have to do a show tomorrow, drink a bottle of wine and watch The Godfather. You're very good at prescribing. Like, you've learned your limits. A lot of people don't. Like, that's the difference between an alcoholic and not.
Drink. Yeah, I know what booze to drink and when. Now, for this challenge, okay, what I was planning to do is if I just drink beer, I will stay up 12, 16 hours automatically. Like, I'll be up.
Of course.
Here's the point. So if I start drinking at beer at, say, 8 or 9 p.m., boom, I'll easily make it through the night. Now, will I be walking into Ron and Fez the next day drunk? Yes, that's the answer. But I would not have slept. So that was sort of my thinking. That was my strategy, was I'll start to, pounding beers at 8, 9 p.m. That don't make me pass out. That's it. That's very easy for me to do 12 hours of pounding beers. But then, 9 a.m., I'm not going to be sober by noon.
No, so seems like you've got yourself in a bit of a pickle, and a real strategy needs to be invoked, and we'll get into your strategy in just a second.
Wait a second. That's why I brought that up, the strategy, publicly. And if Ronnie B was going to give me the green light, then I probably would have employed that strategy.
Well, Ron goes, why do you need to drink, Dave? And you point out that without drinking, you like to be in bed by like 10 p.m. because you're tired. You tend to fall asleep early without the booze to, kind of carry you through the night. And Ron goes, yeah, that's the crazy old Dave I wanted to hear from, the guy who, hey, Mr. B, I'm really an early bird gets the worm type of guy, in bed by 10. And kind of pushes you into it. That's him giving you the green light as much as he can without being like, yeah, come in hammered tomorrow. So on that note, the show kind of ends. And you guys actually all go out to lunch or dinner together. Do you remember any of that? You know what? We're going to let you think about it and see if you recall anyone.
Who went out to lunch or dinner?
The whole show. It was the whole show staff. Maybe minus Pepper. He didn't talk about this at all, but he wasn't really on air for this segment as much. Again, probably because he was running the board.
Why I'm asking is we would often go to this diner right around the corner, like on 57th Street.
Mm-hmm.
We went to that diner a lot, and then went to the hotel with the burgers, which was always great.
This was the hotel with the burgers, and you ran into a celebrity. But I'm going to let you think about it and see if you can remember it. We'll come right back after this commercial break.
It's the Ron and Fez show, as we are into, right now, well over 24 hours of no sleep for most of the staff. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ, and that's why Pepper Hicks threw the platoon right into the strokes. Always thinking, Pepper Hicks, the only person here that I would say has a producer's mind. He makes it subtle, he makes it under the radar, but it's all right there. And I will say this, Pepper, on a subconscious level. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. Fezzy, yesterday you decided, hey, maybe I need to break out of this funk, and me and the boys will stay up overnight. How did everybody do? Was there sleep?
I believe there was no sleep for anyone.
Would you say this, Fez? Would you go so far to say no sleep till Brooklyn?
I would say that much, yeah.
All right, the people that were involved, this you yourself, Big Earl Douglas, Pitsy, and of course East Side Dave. You guys stayed in check with each other, making phone calls?
Yeah, there was phone calls all throughout the night, everyone checking in with each other, probably about every 20 minutes to a half hour to make sure everyone was still up and awake.
And from what I understand, Mikey D took it upon himself to act as an outside third party going and checking on people.
Yeah, decided to just start calling up people to say, are you awake?
Now, I talked with him at one point. He believed that Eastside Dave was drunk and maybe even catnapping while he was talking with Mikey.
That's a total, absolute lie.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, if I was drunk, Fez would have known I was the caller, Mr. B, and I had a glorious time doing it. I was the initiator.
Hold on. Earl, did you not tell me that Dave was drunk most of the night?
Yeah, he was very loopy, especially towards the end of the night.
Was he drunk?
I would say so, because it was very reminiscent to the drunk calls I would get.
Fez Watley, was Dave drunk?
When Dave made his first check-in call, my first question to Eastside Dave is, are you drunk?
All right, so here's three separate people telling me that you were pretty cocktailed up last night. Were you or weren't you?
I was drinking until midnight.
Until?
Yeah, until midnight. And then I tried to sober up with Pepsi and coffee. I got a nice Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And then I had a Heineken at 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so smart. That's a smart move. As the sun comes up, congratulate yourself.
Way to go.
With a nice cold Heineken. You know that goes great with eggs. I know.
No.
I read you don't think so, Fez?
No.
You've never had an alcoholic beverage with breakfast before?
I have, but not Heineken and eggs. It was that particular combo that gnarled me.
Fez has only had a Bloody Mary.
No, mimosa.
Of course.
You're a mimosa femme. Is that what did you drink in the morning?
Yeah, a mimosa.
Yeah.
That you nailed it.
The bars that were near my house, that were near all the factories, you could walk in there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and guys in hard hats would be doing shots before they walked in. Fuck it, double me down. It's gonna be a long day today. I'm not kidding. There would be a line in there, jukebox blasting, 6 o'clock in the morning. Everybody doing
Real good.
Yeah, just doing fucking beers and shots before you had to walk into that shithole. All right, so the good news is we believe everybody made it.
I totally believe everyone made it.
The bad news is Fez has girl drinks for breakfast.
I don't.
Who are you accusing?
I am accusing Mr. Pitsy of cheating, and I'm going to tell you why. At 6:45, I called him.
Mm-hmm.
I got his answering machine.
Uh-oh.
I called him back. Now, listen, there's 5 rings for the answering machine.
Right.
Second time, another 5 rings, answering machine. I left a message saying, you're disqualified. I immediately called Fez, and Earl said Pitsy's out.
Okay, so Pitsy, you're out. You're the only loser so far. You catnapped.
Well, no, I want to rebut that because
Okay.
I have proof that I was awake.
Okay.
One, I want to show my call log from Eastside Dave that I had 26 calls from.
Right.
And
Dave, that's a busy night for you when you're calling just one of the members 26
I don't know
times.
why I got the responsibility.
you can see the gap between 6:01 and 7:55 there.
Wow, interesting.
That there was no call.
Interesting. He does have documentation. Do you have any documentation, Dave?
I have a witness.
Let me
Mr.
see your
Big.
call log. All right, who's your witness?
My witness was Irish Alkie, who was kind enough to come over to Brooklyn for the No Sleep to Brooklyn contest.
Uh-huh.
And he was able, I put the second message on speakerphone to make sure that Alkie heard it. Alkie did hear it, and I said, you're disqualified. So Irish Alkie, I hope he's listening, and maybe if he could call in.
I'm sure he's sleeping like a human being. All right, what else do you have?
And the second piece of hard evidence, the smoking gun, as you would put it, is an email written at 6:34 a.m.
Yeah.
from myself to myself with my football picks for the week.
Smart.
Showing that I was awake at 6:34.
I got to agree with him here.
I said I called him at 6:45, not 6:34, face.
All right, so you're saying he fell asleep between 6:34 and 6:45.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
His football picks put him out.
All right, raised Catholic. Were you, Pitsy?
Yes.
Were you willing to swear to the Virgin Mary? You got zero sleep.
I will swear to the Virgin Mary.
Now, does anybody have a problem with that?
I don't.
I don't.
I do, yeah, because I will swear to the Virgin Mary as well that he's lying.
How do you know? You don't have proof that he's lying.
What?
You know that you called, but you don't know that he was asleep, and now you're making a swear to the Virgin Mary.
I will
The
swear.
VM.
I'm going to swear to Mary Moses and
Mary
a lot
Moses,
of the dead
who's
people.
that?
Is Champal talk now?
No, one of the apostles or whatever. I
No,
don't know.
she wasn't an apostle. You'd say Mary Magdalene?
No, Moses.
Mary Moseless.
No, just Moses.
Who?
Moses.
Mary Moses?
Just Moses.
Moses wasn't an apostle. What are you talking? First you said that you swore to Mary Moses.
Mr. B.
Yeah.
Moses was not an apostle. I mean, are we kind of playing the game here? Or?
No, Moses wasn't an apostle.
No.
Jesus never met Moses.
Apostle, like someone who would be the foretelling of God.
No, that's not an apostle.
It's a prophet.
Prophet. Sorry.
All right, stop it.
Well, don't swear on
And you yelled,
prophets.
you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind through lack of sleep. All right, get back to you, Pitsy. I'm gonna believe in you.
Okay.
And you will not be disqualified. Thanks for coming in here with all the great paperwork when Dave has nothing but a fellow alcoholic to call upon, and the fact that he yelled out Mary Moses, and now that Moses is an apostle.
I made a mistake. Prophet, apostle.
Well,
Everyone makes that mistake.
I also,
No one does.
If Dave, I also can give you a rundown of the first hour of O&A if we need to get that far.
Very smart, but you don't need to. I would not put you through that. You have a belief system.
I can give
Earl
you
Douglas, I'm proud to say nobody's doubting you. And you're the only one to me. Well, I'm going to say here's how we look in terms of freshness. Earl looks number one fresh. Pitsy second. Fez third. And Dave, you look like a fucking wreck. You seriously, you look like a train wreck.
Well,
I swear to Moses, you look like shit.
I thought we
Mary
weren't
Moses.
showering.
Yes.
I thought we were going to be no shower brothers with the no.
No, I'm not even just saying that, but your eyes aren't focusing.
I know.
And your left eye's gotten lazy.
Very lazy. I feel like Tom York.
Shrinking.
There's like 6 Mr. B's talking to me right
Can
now.
I tell you something right now? Tom York looks like the prom king next to you.
And all of Dave's phone calls, there was so much nonsense in the background, you could never understand what he was saying. I don't know if that was happening to Earl or Fez.
Why did you turn it into a big party night? What all did you do last night, Dave?
I went to Irish Alkies and Solaris, and we played categories. Played 3 rounds of categories. We had a great time, except for the lawyer, HTG, who was a big troublemaker, who would fight nit and tuck every single time we had one of the issues. One of the categories was L, and we had to name a product. She said liquid Clorox, which is total bullshit. It's just Clorox. That's like me saying lemon lime 7-Up.
So why are you screaming about this a day later? What do we care?
Well, because I'm a little exhausted, but no.
Yeah. So that hurt your feelings last night?
Yeah, that upset me.
Yeah.
And then we played, and then from categories we went to Monopoly, and I decided to call them.
All right, I'm going to make a judgment on this.
All right.
Liquid Clorox, I'm going to give the okay to.
Oh, come on.
Move on.
Nice.
Move on, or I'll red card your ass. I will red card you. Right now, you got a yellow card for Mary Moses, but I am prepared to red card if I need to.
That's like saying...
He's got a yellow card because he smells so pissy over here next to me.
What were you doing, pissing yourself all night? That's your idea?
There was a little bit of an accident on my boxers, but I mean, my jeans are covering it, so no big deal.
So you're wearing the same clothes as yesterday?
I'm wearing everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even take off my shoes.
So is that the pissy thing that you think you're picking up, Fez?
Yeah.
It's just staleness.
That's what it is. It's a grime. It's a film is what I'm actually smelling.
I see. All right, so I'm going to give Dave extra credit for that, for saying I'm not going to shower and I'm going to keep the same clothes on. Earl, how you feeling overall?
I'm feeling pretty good. A little fuzzy, but really, overall, I'm feeling surprisingly very good.
That's because I believe he cheated as well.
All right, you're the only one accusing. This was supposed to be, can we get a team feeling here? And Dave is the only one being negative towards everybody else.
And I support Earl because every time Dave would call, he would always IM me and tell me how fucking annoying Dave was.
Right.
So I'm going with Earl on this one, that he was up for the whole time.
Fez, you're agreeing here?
I'm agreeing with Pitsy.
All right.
Because Eastside Dave in his calls would tell me how Earl's almost down for the count.
Right.
So I called Earl myself. And Earl couldn't have been more wide awake when I talked to him.
All right, so this is what I'm going to cost you. You are not sharing the chair with Fezzy today. Up you go.
Oh.
Pitsy, you're in the chair. chair.
Can I just say one last
Get
thing?
in there, Pitsy. Yeah.
One last
so
thing?
much heavier.
I do believe Fez Watley cheated as well.
All right.
That's just
Come
wrong.
sit over here.
All right.
Yeah.
Get the foot.
Yeah.
Damn it, though.
All right, so
Come
far,
on in, Pitsy.
so far I have picked Earl over you. I picked Pitsy over you. Oddly enough, I was forced to pick HTG over you, who I know got a fine night's sleep.
Yeah, that makes no sense. She's combative.
Right.
She doesn't play games with the proper decorum.
You're going to talk about other people being... get in there, Pitsy. I don't want you up on a handle. You're going to hurt yourself. You got to get right in there. Yeah, you got to squeeze in and make it tight. Now, you're the lucky boy today.
Oh, he's going to pop me right out of this thing.
All right, come on. Let's stop making it about you, Fez.
Ew.
All right, let's go back to your call against Fez Watley now.
Okay, so I call Fez at 6, I don't know, 30, Mr. B. I get the answering machine.
Right.
Now, again, we said you get an answering machine, you should be disqualified. I called him back. He picks up and says, oh, I was talking to Earl on the other line.
Earl,
Likely story.
Earl, did I or did I not say the call waiting's beeping, I have to go?
I can absolutely verify it.
All right, that's everybody against you.
I heard the call waiting.
Earl, you don't even have to go any further. First of all, I'm never going to accuse Fez of lying. I will accuse him of being confused from time to time in his life, but he will never lie.
I
won't do it. I just won't.
Not in a contest, he won't.
No, I won't. I'm
He's not a cheater.
I was
Right.
raised that way.
But Fez gets confused sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
it was late.
All right, first of all, Dave, you've taken the fun out of this contest by accusing everybody falsely.
Okay.
All right?
I don't think I'm
It's a
accusing them.
legitimate contest.
No, we were
All right,
having fun.
we're gonna move along now. And Fez, just remember what I told you about this morning.
Right.
See how it's pointing out there. So again, I'm going to give the call to Pitsy, to Fez, to Earl, and HTG. You have lost every time that you brought up today.
Okay.
Now, yesterday, and by the way, just so everybody knows, I fell asleep at about 1:30 last night, slept till 10:30 when Fez woke me up this morning.
Man.
So I did get 9 hours in. But they were a deep 9 hours.
Must have felt great, huh?
Well, what feels great is like when you shut your eyes and you can just let yourself go.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that feeling of floating.
Don't even say
You know
that.
what I mean? It's just so comfortable. You know what I mean?
Can I lie down?
Well, my
maybe?
brain feels fresh and it doesn't hurt. My
Right.
eyes feel fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see straight, maybe?
Oh, absolutely.
No sleep till bum bum.
Bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, ba.
I don't think that's the Beastie Boys we were looking
Bum,
for, is it?
ba, 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 bum. I had this program director in New Jersey who I can't give away his name, but he's
He's a crafty son of a bitch.
yeah. I mean, speaking of Long Island, he's some Long Island moron who pretends that he's from Jersey, in addition to pretending a whole bunch of other stuff. And every time we do request hour, if people don't request, he just puts in songs that he likes and then makes up a name, you know.
It's raining men.
And you can always tell about the fucking requests because this guy is such an antiquated out of it that he'll be like, you know, Sue Ellen from Manasquan. It's like no one has the name Sue Ellen 2024, dude. Like, way to make our audience sound like they're 75 years old. You know, he's like like Ginny and Barbara from Massapequa, whatever.
Rosemary requested Tie a Yellow Ribbon
Yeah.
by Tony Orlando. And you're like, what are we doing here?
But every time request hour, I would say, hey, could you just play Beastie Boys Sabotage? You know what this guy, Carl Kraft, I mean, this PD in New Jersey would say?
What would
Sabotage
this PD
isn't
in
a hit.
Jersey say? Sabotage is
Excuse
not
me?
a hit?
That's what he said. Oh, Sabotage, I mean, it's out of format. This is how program directors talk, folks. And it should be there should be a new law that no program director is also allowed to be the morning co-host because this guy was a suit from Long Island, pretending that he was a cool guy from Jersey. The whole thing about the guy is he's a total fucking phony. By the way, he just forced retired Robin Lane. He said to Robin, "You're out after fucking 28 years at the station."
Jesus Christ.
And she had to beg to do one shift, one voice tracked shift where she could say thank you for the last 28 years. So the guy's such a piece of shit. The only thing he cares about is lining his pockets with the money that he makes as a program director, on air host. He takes all the sponsorships and live appearances for himself. He's the most selfish piece of shit of all time. And as a result, the entire radio station now has become the Hindenburg. It is failing and it will actually fold in the next year and a half. Beasley Media, which owns the Rat, is going to get rid of it. Trust me. I know this for a fucking fact. I've had people who actually work there. Well, I'm just going to say, I have people, really close people to this place. And I would say to Carl, Sabotage is I would say to the PD at the Rat, and I would say to this guy in New Jersey, dude, you like, I'm sorry, man, but sometimes this is a person who brags about not having a TV, so he doesn't watch television, doesn't watch sports, doesn't watch movies, and isn't online on the internet. So then when any kind of modern day pop culture thing or anything in the news pops up, he doesn't know what to fucking say because he's got his head up his ass because he's proud of the fact that his only thing that he does is digging an illegal bike trail in Allaire State Park in New Jersey. This is what he does in his spare time. He goes to the park and digs.
Probably does that at night.
And he goes on bicycle rides with his buddy. It's always a male buddy, too.
That's interesting.
Oh, but the
I don't
point was,
typically think
Sabotage
of-
not a hit.
No, Sabotage.
So
is a
he
hit.
would only play Fight for Your Right to Party and No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And I'm like, dude, do you know the amount of fucking influence and fucking like shit that Sabotage has? You fucking J.J. Abrams used it to kick off the new Star Trek franchise. It's been used all over pop culture. What the fuck? Sabotage, arguably, I don't give a shit what the charts in 1996 said. Sabotage is probably their number one right now.
Would you say,
Because
oh,
fight for
damn
your
it.
right, but fight for your right to party is a little silly.
Yeah. Look, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Sabotage the song they used to bring out Elvis Costello on SNL too? Do you not know this story? So
Elvis Costello got fucking banned for doing radio.
Right, and then the Beastie Boys brought him out during Sabotage. He ran on stage, and it was
Oh.
pre-approved and went, no, this isn't right, America. We shouldn't be playing this song. And then they played Radio all together with him as well.
Oh, why not?
So that's why I was saying it's a big pop culture moment.
It's
Yeah.
a pop culture phenomenon. And every time, and I'm like, again, at 9 o'clock hour, when we don't have anyone calling up requests. So I'm like, hey, can we play Beastie Boys Sabotage? It's out of format. What does that mean? It wasn't a big hit. Yes, it was.
It was arguably their best known.
Yes, it
song.
was.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know, there's nothing worse than someone who doesn't pay attention to the world around him, and then on top of that is a narcissist, so they think that if they don't know something, that it doesn't have like the same fame when everyone else on the planet knows that it is. Like he's a guy who will be like, who's that guy? And it'll be like the fucking lead actor of like Stranger Things. And he's like, I've never heard of that person before. It's like, everyone else has, douchebag. You know? Anyway, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Great fucking song. Just reminds me of that guy now who I fucking despise. By the way, Robin Lane, I love you. I sent her a text message.
God love her.
She's a great
Hopefully
woman. Always
she'll bounce
wonderful to
back.
my children, wonderful to every single listener.
Wonderful to me when I met her.
Yeah,
Because you would sneak me into those things, and she treated me like I belonged. She would go out of her way to have a conversation with me. Lovely lady.
Can't do that. Anyway.
All because this guy wannabe Casey Kasem. There's nothing worse than a guy who acts cool.
I'm telling you, it's all because this guy has officially, in the last 10 years, used an entire radio station as his personal ATM. That's all he wants it for. That's why the program director is also the morning co-host, also takes the lion's shares of the live appearances and the lion's shares of the sponsorships, the live reads and stuff. Wow.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pop culture figures, in addition to the Beastie Boys, you guys actually met one when you went to the hotel for burgers. You asked me to prepare some clues, and my clues aren't quite as good as the ones you gave about who the PD director and you were talking about was.
No one knows. No one knows who that person is.
Not. No. But this guy wore number 6, but the number he's probably best known for is 10, even though he didn't wear it. That would be my first clue. Basketball player.
Basketball player wore number 6.
But best known for the number 10.
Wait. Hold on. Stop. Basketball player who wore number. Basketball player.
Yeah. He wore number 6. Played
Rodman
for the Celtics.
wore 10.
He didn't wear the number 10, but that's the number people
Rodman
remember.
wore 10 for the Pistons.
No, the guy I'm talking about did not wear number 10, but if you hear his name, you think of the number 10. That's the clue. That wasn't his jersey number.
Bill Russell.
There you go. Sorry, I just didn't explain it well.
No, you didn't. No, you
was a good
fucking
clue, though.
didn't. I would have gotten Bill Russell in 2 goddamn seconds had you explained it well.
That's what I was trying to break it down and help you out. I don't know I don't have anything to say about that.
I'm just fired up because of that anonymous program director in New Jersey.
Yeah, I could tell. It feels like some of that heat was directed over here. What I thought was interesting is we'll get to Bill Russell a little bit more once we see how you guys may remember it, depending on who made it through the night and what state. Like we'll talk about, because that's how you recapped it afterwards. So the first person to talk about the challenge is obviously Fez, right? So Ron goes, Fez, how'd it go? And Fez says everyone made it. In his opinion, he thinks everybody made it through the night. Dave, he points out that he felt like you were drinking. You were like, I mean, a little. And then Ron goes, I had some spies that said you were really drinking. Everybody who called said you were slurring your words. And then it came back to Fez because they were going down the line. Pitsy said it sounded like you were drinking. Earl said it sounded like you were.
First of all, I'm from New Jersey. And unless people always think I'm fucking slurring my words or drinking or doing something like that. No, this is just how I fucking talk. Okay. Also, when we get tired, do we not fucking slur our words a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah. And Pitsy's the one who kind of was talking about how you sounded, so you could kind of put him down with those points. Earl goes, it reminded me of those nights where I would get a call from Dave at 2 a.m. going, come hang out. That's what the phone calls were like. But again,
yeah, I used to do that.
It's 2 a.m.
And would he ever hang out? The answer was no. And by the way, he lived in Queens. I lived in Queens for a little bit.
They called you the King of Queens.
You know, how many times? Maybe that's where our rivalry even began. Because do you know how many do the Ron and Fez fans and the Tales from the Satellite fans understand how many times I drunkenly invited this guy? And it wasn't always 2 a.m. That's silly, Earl. But did I invite him at 11 p.m. to go out, hang out for a little bit? Midnight, maybe? You're in Queens on a Friday night. I'm in Queens on a Friday night. Why would sometimes I invite him just to come to my apartment? We'll watch the Yankees. No, and no. And I'm the bad guy? I think people's perspectives have changed throughout the years. Because how is the bad guy inviting the other guy over, and the other guy declines every single time, giving me the old brush off?
A lesson I've learned in life as of late, Dave, is sometimes you love too much, and that makes you the bad guy.
Yeah,
and I can see that applying to you and Earl, unfortunately. But Fezzy kind of puts the nail in the coffin and goes, yeah, Dave was drunk. I know drunk Dave. And you go, yeah, I was drinking a little bit, Mr. B. I drank until midnight. This was your strategy because you talked about it. If you started drinking and you drank through the night until 9 a.m., then you would be hammered going on air, but you can't do that, So you drank until midnight, and then at 6 a.m., you celebrated by making it through the night by having a Heineken. And Ron goes, yeah, nothing like seeing the sunrise and going, boy, I did something today, and then having a nice beer. He goes, I hear they go really well with eggs. And Fezzy goes, ugh, yuck. And Ron goes, what, you never had a drink at morning? And Fez goes, no, it's the Heineken and egg combo. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a cakes and eggs?
But I would have a Bloody Mary and eggs.
And that is what you thought Fez would drink in the morning. And Fez goes, no. And Ron goes, come on, he's a mimosa gal. And it turns out, yes, that's what Fez would drink in the morning is mimosas.
Mimosas are good, but there's nothing like a well-made Bloody Mary if you know where to get one.
I'm curious you're not a bigger fan of cakes and eggs. You've never done that? That was a big thing when I was in college, especially on St. Patrick's Day. The one Irish place in town would do kegs and eggs, and you would start drinking Guinness and have eggs for breakfast at like 6 a.m. and then a party all day.
That's disgusting. Like the amount of the smell, the fucking disgusting smell. First, Guinness farts are not great, and then the eggs, and you put that in shit. That shit, if you fucking bottled that shit into a capsule. Like, that's the type of shit that they took in World War II to kill themselves.
I genuinely think that you're right, and I think the town actually paid off the bar to do it. So that way all these drunk college kids weren't getting hammered all day. They were drinking until noon, feeling like shit and sleeping it off until like 3 a.m. But
that's
it was
disgusting. No, for me, it would always be a nice Bloody Mary and no eggs a part of the process. If anything, I go very light with some toast.
I'm a donut guy for breakfast. I like donuts. I think that's a great way to start the day. I don't know if you know this. You could eat 12 donuts, and it's the same as drinking one Coke.
What, Robert?
Sugar-wise. There's as much sugar in one Coke as there is in 12 donuts. So if you're focusing on that, you could just have a donut and not feel that guilty.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's why I'm cool with it. Some people start with like a Monster energy drink, full sugar and everything, and you're like, God damn, that's 12 donuts. But no, just one donut. No biggie.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair.
And you have a couple beers with it, donuts. Everybody wins. It's hard to have a bad day like that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a big donut guy. So that kind of goes on. They go, so everybody made it, and you instantly go, I don't think everybody made it. And Ron goes, well, who are you accusing? And you go, Pitsy.
Yeah.
You accused Pitsy of falling asleep because you called him at 6:45. It went to voicemail. You called him back at 6:45 or like 6:50, and it went to voicemail again. You're like, it's 5 rings and a voicemail. And Irish Alky stayed up with you all night. So you're like, he heard the voicemail and everything. So when we said that, Pitsy counters right away and goes, "That's not true. I'd like to show you my phone logs, Ron." And he shows a phone log. There are no missed calls from those hours from Eastside Dave. And he's saying maybe there was a connection issue. He also said he sent an email to himself at 6:35 with his football picks for the day because he knew he was going to be too tired to forget. So he produced that as evidence. You point out, I said 6:45, not 6:35. And Ron goes, "Can I see your phone logs?" It's not in there because you delete yours. Pitsy also pointed out 26 calls from Eastside Dave McDonald throughout the evening.
What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing, but just pointing out that there was a record of him taking your calls, like that you had called him. You guys were both doing your part in a way.
By the way, I was the call master.
How did you end up with that?
Credit for that because it was way more me calling the other three guys than the other way around. I was calling Pitsy. I was calling Earl. I was always like, "You fell asleep, didn't you?" He'd be like, "No, I'm still awake, Dave." And I'd be like, "You fell asleep, though, Joe. Don't lie to me." "I never fell asleep, Dave. I never fell asleep. I'm here talking to you right now. I wouldn't be talking to you if I fell asleep, Dave." And I would try to badger Earl into admitting that he had at least taken a little cat nap. But I was doing the majority, if not almost all of the calls, in fact.
That's kind of what they all attested to as well. You're like, "I'm not sure how I ended up in this position, but
the captain.
I did do it."
Jeter. The captain.
Ron, the best.
That's what they call me, the captain.
Your mom thinks you have no personality.
And then they stand on their desks when I walk out of the room. And they go, "Captain? Oh, my captain." And then I go, "Thank you, boys. Thank you." And then I go out and then I walk out of the school. And then I go get another teaching job where I encourage the kids to be artists, and when they fail, they kill themselves.
Yeah.
And that's Dead Poet Society too, where it's a mass suicide.
The Jonestown edition.
Oh,
hey,
man.
kids, thank you. Sorry I got your best friend to kill himself.
Real quick, 2 movies that I must watch in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy and Dead Poet Society.
I'm 1 for 2 there.
Every September. I got to watch Rudy. I got to watch Dead Poet Society in September. They are fall movies to me. Thank you. Next. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
One of those is my absolute fall movie, and I'll let you decide which one. You're 5 foot nothing.
Rudy.
100 and nothing. And in this life, you don't have to prove nothing to yourself but nobody. And if you ain't done that by now, then you're never going to do it, son. It's a great movie.
Don't sleep on Dead Poet Society.
I like Dead Poet Society, too. I can watch that anytime I'm feeling super depressed.
Good.
So, like, it's a good one. It's a good pick-me-up. But this isn't about that. This is about you and Pitsy battling over whether or not you fell asleep. Ron does point out that Pitsy's got, like, factual evidence. Pitsy offers to recap the first hour of O&A because he was up listening to it. But then again, he could have just gotten that from one of his producer buddies over there.
Yeah, actually, that's not good.
So it comes down to he swears to Mary that he did not fall asleep in that time.
Mary?
Yeah. Like the
why
mother
not
of
Jesus?
The mother of Jesus. I don't know why Ron asked him to swear on the Virgin Mary.
Oh.
But then you go, "Well, I swear to Mary Moses." And Ron goes, "Who the fuck's Mary Moses?" Fez says one of my favorite lines, which is, "I think she's a new Cam Paltal girl," like on Cam. Made me laugh really hard. So who is Mary Moses, Dave?
Mary Moses. I have no fucking idea. I don't know what the hell. That's the fucking insomnia talking right there.
Yeah, big time. And you go, "Well, I met Mary."
That don't make sense at all.
"I met Mary and Moses." And Ron goes, "You can't swear to Moses." And you go, he wasn't a disciple. And you go, "Come, Ron, he wasn't an apostle. Come on. Are we doing a work here on radio?" And Ron goes, "What are you talking about? Moses never met Jesus." And then you realize you were looking for the word prophet, not apostle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's
so
definitely
it was
the insomnia talk.
chip in the tank. But going back to Ron's point of bringing out the old crazy Dave, it is coming out a little bit, right? You start to see it some.
A lot of biblical stuff with the Dave Man on the Ron and Fez show throughout the years that I've never anticipated. Like when the fact that I claim that, which I still believe, that Jesus made the first chair, the first proper Western chair with, 4 legs and a back and stuff for regular folks. Obviously, thrones existed. I'm talking about the working class chair.
So what you're saying is Jesus was basically like the guy who stole fire from the gods. He took the chair back from the kings and was like, no, for all the people.
Yeah. I'm
I
going to
love
create
Jesus even
chairs
more.
for everyone, not just for you.
Then that makes me love Jesus even more because I hate
Okay.
a bar stool.
The original IKEA, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He did meatballs that never end. He had fish and chips that never ended.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to go to IKEA now anyway. Talk about a place. If when someone is like, hey, let's go to IKEA, I go, no. Because first of all, it really does suck building all this shit. Second of all, because we have to build it, it fucking falls apart. The IKEA shit lasts 2-3 years at most. There's no point.
When it first started, it was like top of the. Now it's just cheap Chinese, same stuff you could buy on Temu.
Terrible. Never get from IKEA.
But this isn't about IKEA.
Please.
This is
continue.
about iSleepa. And Ron kind of goes around the room and points out how everybody's looking. He goes, surprisingly, Earl looks the freshest. Like Earl looks like he's good, ready to go, which kind of leads into your theory. He may have been taking some cat naps.
I felt like he had napped, but I couldn't prove it. So
Pitsy looked tired. You, he said, looked rough. He was like, you look like you didn't sleep. You point out that you're seeing 6 Mr. B's. Like you have double vision. You're seeing
I
them.
mean, when you are sleep deprived, you can start hallucinating, and it's not the first time that it's happened. You know,
No.
I just told this story, and I'll say it briefly here. When I stayed up all night on a class trip, we were not supposed to. In Paris, I snuck out with my friend Ryan, and we just walked around Paris, going from bar
Looking
to
for
bar
answers?
all night long. It was fantastic. And honestly, it's like the highlight of the whole trip because these idiotic fucking people said you had to be in at midnight. I'm like, no way. So we snuck down the fucking fire escape, left the hotel, came back. But of course, we got in trouble. They found out that we weren't there, and then fucking nearly called our parents, wanted to send us home. Anyway, my dad said, please,
You were like, don't
keep.
threaten me with a good time. I want to get out of this shithole country.
My dad said, no, let him stay. Let him, come on. We've given you like $1,500 for this thing. So they said, okay, but I was like on probation for the rest of the trip or whatever. But anyway, the point is we went out, we got drunk, we stayed up all night. Then I'm walking through Paris, right?
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, I was straight up hallucinating. Like I would see someone who I thought was in my class and walk up to them, and then they weren't there. And when I was at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower, I hallucinated a Guns N' Roses song that does not exist about we're going up, 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 but I don't know how to play music, so I can't write it down.
Can't get it out of your
But
head.
I literally
Goddamn.
hallucinated a GNR song that doesn't exist, and I hallucinated friends of mine who were on the trip that then when I would walk up to them, they weren't there. So, yeah, when I say I was seeing 6 Mr. B's, I guarantee you that was legit.
What I like is you took that line, which is legit. We've all been that sleep deprived. I'll tell you about mine when we talk about where you were at day 2. But you take that line and you spin it into something funny. You go, it reminded me of the good old days, Mr. B, where you, me, and Fezzi would walk through the park, and then we'd go to the diner. And Ron goes, well, you know what ruined that, right? And you go, no, what ruined that, Mr. B? Because you're into it. And he goes, oh, Pitsy. Because it was you and me, Fez and Earl. And you can't fit, Fez goes, you can't fit 5 people in a booth. And then it's just like, God damn.
I know. Wow. That is fucking.
That was
Poor
so funny.
Pitsy.
Yeah, they just taking shots at him.
But
Even
that
after
place had a nice buffalo burger.
it does sound good.
Ew, it was good, man.
Maybe we could check it out next time you're in the city.
Mm.
So then Ron wants to get into why you look so much worse than everybody else. He goes, all right, Dave, what'd you do last night? Take us through your evening. You point out that you played categories. Now, one thing I appreciate about you is you are truly a board game. What's a good word? Connoisseur?
Yes, I am a board game connoisseur, but I'm just a competitor in general, I think.
Well, I would agree. I've never seen you not be competitive in anything we do. And I mean that in a complimentary way. Like
Yes,
you
if
want to
we're
be the
gonna-
best
if you're
at
gonna
whatever
play
you're
a
doing.
sport,
Yeah.
or if you're going to play a sport or a game, you have to understand the competition master will dust everybody. That's just the way it goes. I don't care if I'm playing wiffle ball against my kids. I'm still going to hit 485-foot Aaron Judge bombs off you. If you hang a slider, okay, what am I supposed to do? Not swing? No.
Of course.
I'm going to swing, and I'm going to fucking launch the ball. And then I'm going to let you know what you did wrong as I'm rounding the bases. Yes.
I'm nothing wrong with that. Maybe get a bat flip in there, send the message.
Oh, I've done it a million times. Go check out my YouTube. See watch some of the bombs I hit off Stanley Mack. I flipped that
How
shit.
else is he going to learn?
You got to learn. Keep that ball down.
But that competitiveness isn't always the best to bring up on radio if it's not about relevant. But when you're tired, every detail matters because you went up against one of your rivals in categories, HTG. And you did not point out that she was a stickler. She cheated. She was crafty. You called her the lawyer. It was very funny and it all came down to this ruling. The word was L, or the letter was L, and you had to come up with a product. And she said liquid bleach.
Oh, my God.
Or liquid Clorox.
Oh, my.
And I got to tell you, I agree with you. I think you were right in your ruling.
Come on. Clorox is liquid. It's not that you don't call it liquid Clorox. It's Clorox, which is a liquid. Man. And I
agree.
She's not a rival. I love HTG.
In categories, I meant. Like, it seemed like it was you two going for the throne. Almost like a...
Well, I'm going to go for the win against anybody.
Yeah, of course. But it was you two. That's where it's not a rivalry, of course. But it was just like, that's why you were bringing up. It was like, it was me and her going neck and neck all night. And then Ron ultimately rules.
I understand what you're saying, but liquid Clorox. Come on.
I'm glad you still feel strongly about it. Because Ron at the time goes, oh, and you feel very intensely about this, do you, Dave? You think we need to talk about it 24 hours later? And it's like, yeah, I do. I got cheated, and I get that mentality.
She's cheating.
I get that mentality.
It's not the product is Clorox. That's a C.
I agree with you. There's a cousin I have who we are not allowed to play family board games.
Look. Listerine. Without thinking, I just gave you an L product. We're talking a product in general that starts with an L? Come on.
How about a Clorox, liquid Clorox's rival, Lysol?
Boom.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ron, unfortunately, rules in HTG's favor and goes, you know what? Just for bringing it up on air, I'm giving it to her. Cost you the points. You hate to see it.
Bad
Dave,
ruling, I think.
So Ron goes, all right, well, everybody made it through. I'm really proud of you, especially Earl. Nobody accused Earl. And you go, well, I'd like to accuse Earl.
I'm just a fucking pain in the ass. I feel like I'm the only one who's being a fucking jerk off in this whole segment. And is this accurate?
It is. And I don't mean it in the sense of you being a jerk off, but I think you realized if everybody's just tired and you didn't do this and you didn't talk about your nights at all, you just stayed up for no reason. Like if nobody's accusing other people of falling asleep.
True. It's got to be on the air. I remember. Okay, different aside. Oh, you know what? We did the Fast Freddy show, right? With the drinking.
Yep.
Okay, so I may have brought this up before on that show, but I think it was that show that it was St. Patrick's. We're going to drink. We're going to have a good time. And we were actually really, really drinking. But, I remember trying to be professional.
Yes.
So I was going to just drink and be a pro and drink and be a pro. And it's kind of like, no, that's not really why. Drink for real, but then just get a little out there. Let the alcohol do something.
Absolutely.
And get a little nutty. And yeah, so in other words, there's no point of doing a drinking show if you're just going to be, exactly normal. That doesn't bring in any kind of chaos and fun. And I think it was the same thing here. The object wasn't like, hey, let's just go in. Or at least for me, it wasn't. I'm just going to go in and be tired. No, now that doesn't sound like a very fun show. So it's better to be crazy. But also, I experienced psychosis like a regular human when I miss sleep. Apparently, these other 3 serial killers do not.
I kind of think they may have just not had energy. Fez is being quirky and he's being quippy, so he's in. But I think Pitsy and Earl are just dead on their feet. So you're realizing that the only way to pull them in the show and show off their tiredness is if I accuse all of these people of having fallen asleep. Right. And it makes sense. It's good radio. I'm not critiquing. I just think it's very profound. Now, Fez right away backs up Earl, as does Pitsy. And both of them go. Pitsy goes, I know Earl was awake because every time Dave would call me, 10 minutes later, I'd get an IM from Earl going, Dave is so fucking annoying. Like they were then having a post call about you, talking about your call to them to make sure they
I
were
had
awake.
no idea about this.
Yeah, me neither. But they said it on air to you, but you're just
But I didn't hear that. Well, I heard it 15 years ago is my point, but I had forgotten about that, obviously. And that's incredible. The captain selflessly decides to make sure we're all successful by fucking every 10, 15 minutes calling each and every person. The captain doing the fucking hard work. And he's annoying. I guess I'm annoying for doing my damn job.
I mean, what are you gonna do? That plus, it's the two guys who throughout their tenure have kind of carried. There's never been
like that comment makes Earl to me sound like like the type of guy. There's two guys like soldiers. And it's like, okay, I'm going to get some shut-eye. Like, you be on duty for the first 4 hours, and then when 4 hours goes by, you could sleep, and I'll wake up. And Earl would be like the guy would be like, okay, get some sleep. And then 8 minutes later, Earl would fall asleep, and both of you guys would be bombed by the Viet Cong. Like, that's, to me, what he's saying right there. Well, I'm sorry, Earl, okay? I'm going to keep us alive through the night, baby.
Fez also backs up Earl and goes, the reason why I think it is because every time Dave called Earl, he would then call me and go, Earl's out against the ropes. He's going down. He's almost out. And then I would call Earl, and he'd be as awake as I've ever heard him. More awake than he's ever been on air, which is Fez.
How can you tell the difference, Fez? He seems like the same person.
Well, that's what Fez is saying. He sounded more awake last night than he does most of the time. But as a result of you losing that challenge, you lose your seat in the chair with Fez, and Pitts gets it.
Wait. Challenge? How did I lose the challenge?
Of accusing, not the challenge of sleeping, the challenge that Earl fell asleep. Like, it was like you made a contention, they ruled against you, and as a result, you were no longer allowed to sit in the chair with Fez, but Pitsy got it? What does that fucking mean? Like, it sounds like you and Fez were sitting in the same chair. Was this a thing that happened for a while where you and Fezzy would share?
Behind the board? So, in other words, there's two people behind boards. There's the in-studio guy behind the board, and that's where Fez always would sit. And then behind the glass is the other guy who has to go get you in and out of breaks. That's the other guy who runs that board, and that's usually Earl. There were times where I would sit in Fez's chair for certain things, including interviews for that matter. Like a lot of times, I wasn't going to say anything, and then Fez was going to go out and get the guests. I think because of the Henry Rollins incident where I tried to put the headphones on Henry Rollins, and he got mad at me for some reason and grabbed my wrist and twisted it, tried to break it. But maybe I was sitting in Fez's chair. I don't know.
So it wasn't just one person sitting in the chair, though. It was both Fez and you sitting in one chair together.
No, we weren't sitting what? Like I'm sitting on Santa Claus's lap?
Yes. That's why I'm asking about this, because you lost that right. Then Pitsy gets the right to sit in Fez's chair with him, and he's kind of sitting on the arm of it.
I think they're calling it Fez's chair.
No, because Fez goes, he'll squeeze me right out of this. Like they're sitting in the same chair together, Dave. I don't know. That's why I'm so confused. I was hoping you could clarify it for me.
Okay. I think, Robert, you have it mistaken. I think I was in Fez's chair behind the board. Just that was a short way of saying he's behind the board in studio behind the board. And this could have been one of those moments where Fez was like standing or sitting in a different spot. Type of thing.
We'll let the audience hear the audio, but they'll come to their own conclusion. We'll see what they thought was going on. But
Again.
It really sounds like you and Fez were sitting in one office chair. You lost the right, and then Pitsy had to do it because Pitsy was sitting on the arm. Ron goes, you can't just lean on the arm like that, Pitsy.
There were no chairs big enough that me and Fez would be sitting in the same fucking chair. I would have to be sitting on his lap, dude. I'm telling you. No. It was about it's short. It's short for saying in studio board, I think.
Okay. We'll let them decide.
Decide, because I
feel like now you're accusing me, which you then do to Fez of all people, Dave. What are we thinking?
No, I just can't recall ever sitting in a same chair with Fez. There were no chairs that big.
I believe you, man. I'm just telling you what it sounded like as a non-biased listener. We'll see what the audio sounds like. Maybe I got it wrong. You point it out. I stayed up all night. I smoked some weed. Who knows?
You got it
but
wrong.
As you're being removed from whatever seat you were in to a new location, you then accuse Fezzy of having fallen asleep.
Of having what?
Fallen asleep. Because you called Fez and it went to voicemail. And Fez goes, you said he called you back 5 minutes later and said, sorry, I was on the phone with Earl. You go, but we said voicemail, he knew what time I was calling. And then Earl obviously backs up Fez and goes, no, I was on the phone with him. And he said, I got to go my voice messaging says there's somebody on the other line. So Fez gets out of it. And that's where we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Now, yesterday we left here and we got burgers. And walked in, and Earl, very, very exciting for you. There was an icon sitting there at the burger joint. A man with 11 championship rings. A man who, time and time again, shut down the great Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell was sitting there having burgers with everybody.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, a total icon. More than Yogi Berra. And I couldn't believe that this is fucking Bill Russell right in front of me.
Yeah. And I as I was drifting off to sleep last night, I go, how lucky is my life? I get to eat burgers with Bill Russell. And then off I went to Dreamland. Off I went. He was also sitting there having lunch with Clyde Drexler. But who gives a fuck about you, Clyde? That means nothing to us.
He won a ring.
So what?
He won a ring with the Rockets.
He is not Bill Russell.
No.
And who was holding court? Who looked like they were in charge?
Bill Russell.
Yeah, thank you.
Bill Russell, did you notice how cool he was? He had an iPod thing on his left ear.
Of course he did. You know what he was listening to? Jazz. Plenty of jazz. I don't know what it is about basketball guys. They love jazz. And that's why I was trying to give a little lesson to Russell yesterday on hand checking. Just constant hand checking.
Right? Ow.
Yeah. And you know what? You got to own. Seriously, sit down. What I try to teach is you got to own under the bridge. You got to own. Keep paying attention.
All right.
Even if I can
That's
put
a
my
foul.
hand on my head.
That's a foul. Ow.
Hand on his head.
That's a foul.
You were showing Bill Russell there. It was going back and forth.
Those are fouls, I think.
It's nice to know Bill Russell enjoys a good burger.
Why wouldn't he?
Classy.
And then Clyde, when he was leaving, he said to those people next to us, this was good. It's like being in a jute joint. And I'm like thinking to myself, you don't even know what a jute joint is. Because it's nothing like that.
Were those people his handlers? Because they seem to know a lot about Clyde Drexler.
No, they were people from Houston. They were money people. They were a very... I don't know. Everybody was up for some concert that was at Radio City last night. What was the show? Do you know, Earl?
It was the Dream concert. It was like a Martin Luther King tribute fundraiser to build a memorial for Martin Luther King.
So that's where they were like money people from Houston, and they were saying to us that Clyde, fantastic guy in Houston, gives out a lot of money, is always there for every cause.
That's why they looked weird when they said, are you here for the concert? We didn't know what they were talking about, but now we're the only white people in there going to a Martin Luther King concert. That's why they looked at us weird.
Well, I don't think that they were racist. I think, and they even brought up, there was a country artist that was involved.
Garth Brooks, I thought.
Oh, yeah, Garth Brooks. And I said, no, I'm Billy Ray Cyrus, and they just went, well, thanks for all that you're doing. But anyway, Bill Russell. Earl, you look like you were going to faint.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm like, but this transcends whatever team loyalty.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's ridiculous to say I don't respect him because I'm from another city.
I mean, the man redefined the sport, redefined even the whole notion of rivalries.
Forget redefined. He defined. He actually defined.
Well, he's probably the best defensive player of all time.
Well, hand check. It's all about a hand check.
Ouch. See, that's a foul.
I don't think so.
How does he do that again?
It's just a quick hand check.
That's foul.
Here's what's happening. While he's thinking about that,
Right.
do you think he's going to be thinking about handling the ball?
No.
He's thinking about anything but.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I know that.
It's a lot of hand checking today.
I'm not sure if it's legal, though.
Hand checking. And everybody, let me just say this. Well, other than Dave, everybody has shown to me that we're forming a team here today. I was thinking as I was waking up this morning, breakfast in bed, I was thinking to myself, I'm really proud of this team. Jay, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, Jay, Ron, how you doing?
Yeah. What can we do for you? Jay, I lose you? Damn, and he had a good idea, too. Brad, you're on the Run and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I just have to say that Dave is so much more funnier now that he did this, staying up all night.
It was an experiment to see whether everybody could get out of their own way. And Dave, I'm seeing the old Dave come back, the hot dog Dave coming back in here.
Oh, that's
the
good.
Dave with a little bit of volume, a little bit of excitement.
Put some mustard on my hot dog.
Right. There you go. That kind of silliness. That kind of silliness is what I'm looking for. And the paranoia. The acute paranoia.
You hit me 15 times in a row. I'm
You're a hand
paranoid.
check. I let you know you're in a game. I let you know, guess what? You're not scoring 32. You're not going. You're going to hit double. You're gonna hit double figures, but I'm gonna make you work for it. And the shots you hit are gonna be from the outside because I own the fucking paint today.
Can I say about the paranoia that a couple times I thought when I was walking to the subway station that I saw you.
Did you or didn't you?
No, but it was like the last time I hallucinated when I was, just from lack of sleep was when I ran away and was just walking around New York City. Then I thought I saw Fez, and it was just like fat. Sorry,
What?
What, hot dog man?
Chubby.
Why are you saying that?
It was like a bigger guy with a beard, and it turned out he was probably 68 years old, and I felt so embarrassed because I really thought it was.
Why are you hallucinating so bad off of one night's sleep, miss?
Well,
One night's sleep.
I need sleep, otherwise I start hallucinating.
Well, you're fine, and you're actually doing better.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now just
I
remember.
just don't want to get hit, so not today.
Pay attention. When you hear this,
We were up till the cowbell came home.
when you hear this, you're in trouble. You're in the red zone.
I'm very sensitive today, though. Those quote hand checks are actually hurting.
All right, you know what?
Please,
Be careful. Just be careful. I need you to focus.
Okay.
All right? I do need you to focus at all time. And that's where I want you to be here. Here's David. David, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Hold on, I am.
Hey, Ron, this is David. Clyde Drexler, he grew up in a family that had a restaurant. They had a barbecue joint in Houston that's pretty famous. And also, Ron, I want to go about Sunday. I listened to the replay of the John Turturro interview. I want to say that's the greatest interview I've heard on radio.
Oh,
and
thank you.
You've got the best interview skills, Ron, and just keep up the great work. I'm a truck driver, and I listen to you guys every day, and I wish they would play you guys a replay earlier in the day.
I thank you very much, my friend. I'm going to send you into the big-ass prize closet for the remention of the John Turturro. We're having major phone problems. We're going to have to maybe even reboot. Was that you singing that, Dave, or was that really happening? Because I saw you pointing, and I don't know whether you're still hallucinating. You want to take that one off, yeah.
I thought I saw something on the screen flash up. It was sort of like that Moonlight Graham part in Field of Dreams.
All right, see, he's talking crazy. You know what? Just so you know. Come on. Stay awake. I don't want you to get hit with this.
Red zone.
Red zone. You're in the red zone.
I know, but the steel, though, is going to hurt today.
Okay. It was doing some crazy shit there, Pitts, but we'll keep an eye on it today. And I will be incredibly glad when we finally get into a real studio. Here's Jay. Jay, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron, I don't know how you do it, but I got an idea. Keep him to Jenner's up one more night, no sleep till Brooklyn night 2. Another 48 or another 24 hours, make it 48.
Let's take a walk around the studio right now and see if people are comfortable with that. Fez, could you do another 24?
I feel I could do another 24. I got another 24 in me.
Wow. Earl.
I can't do it. I know I can't do it. I know I can't.
All right, so Earl's fired. Pitsy.
I'm ready to go. I feel so much better this morning than I have in a long time.
All right, and I'm noticing it.
Yes, I'm going to take lots of Stacker 2s or whatever.
They said it's good for you.
Yeah, I'm just anything.
Why does his always have to involve drugs or alcohol? Why can't he just do it?
All right, so because he can't. He is really only the summation of his drugs and alcohol. Now, Gaz, I see you waving at the door. Come on in here. Grab a seat with Fez. Help yourself.
It's not going to work.
Sure, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
Gaz, what do you got for us?
Well, I have to work anyway, so I will also be joining the second night of no sleep. So
You didn't sleep last night?
well, not last night. I slept fine. Tonight,
So, would you guys welcome Gaz in?
Yes.
No. No, he's already slept. He's a day behind and $1 short.
What if he taps in for Earl, and Earl and Gaz become a team?
As
a tag team.
As a team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earl, do you not want to be with the team?
Yeah, of course I want to be with the team.
Yeah,
but just physically, I know I can't do it.
Do you want Gaz to be executive producer?
No, I do not.
Did that make sense for everybody?
Works for me if he's going to, at the baton's being handed off here.
New generation. Len, you're on Run of Fez.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to tell those Mariasses I work 27 hours every Friday. I'm up to 30 every
All right, so
Friday.
here's a hooker stays up sucking and fucking all night long every Friday night, bringing that cash home. What kind of work do you do, Lynn?
I cook during the day and I wait at night. So I'm on my feet for 27 hours. So it's a bunch of crap. You could do it. I don't want to hear little Mariass Dave walking around into walls. That's crazy.
All right.
I'm not walking. I'm working with
Oh, the hand check.
Because if I do this, starting from now, it's going to be 29 straight hours, Lynn.
Wow.
So,
Well, you'll be waitressing too.
Fez, how many hours straight you been up?
I must be up now. 24 times.
Oh boy, he's doing math. He's doing math.
So I'm up like 29 hours.
I'm also 29 hours.
Dave?
30.
30 hours. And Earl?
29
All right,
minutes.
So I'm up. In another 10 minutes, it'll be 3 hours.
Is it great? Is it the best?
It really is. My problem is I'm feeling a little too refreshed.
Mr. B, I'm up 30 hours.
Yeah.
And I just like to sing this one quick song.
All right, here we go.
My head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus. That kind of morning really was that kind of night.
All right, stop.
Trying to tell myself that my condition is improving, but if I don't die by Thursday, I'll be rolling Friday night. I said I'll be rolling.
All right, stop it.
Jimmy Buffett.
Earl, and I hate him. Earl?
Yeah.
The team needs you right now. The Fab Four. Will you be there tonight for them? Can they count on you?
We're all in, Ringo. What about you?
I will go another 24.
Whoa!
Yeah! Party guy! Party guy! Party guy!
Look at this. This team has really came together with 2 chants in a row. I'm very, very excited. And Fez, I've noticed this too. You've taken a leadership role.
Thank you.
Has everyone noticed that?
Yes.
We haven't seen that leadership role out of Fez in a long time, but it seems like with the No Sleep crew, leadership.
Sleep is the stupidest thing I've ever done, apparently.
When I talked to him at 4:30, he gave me such inspiration to keep going.
Really?
We only talked for 2 minutes, but it was so inspirational that I knew I couldn't sleep.
Here is Chase. You're on Run Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know if old Snowball over there was farting all night to keep himself awake. See ya!
All right. That really took away from his leadership. He was laughing at
They
him.
can't touch me.
No.
I stayed up. I'm up for 29 hours now.
You gotta use whatever methods you can.
Yeah, if gas is your way, Fezzy, go ahead, enjoy.
I ate an entire block of cheese last night.
Why?
Because I ration my snacks every 2 hours, so I ate cheese every 2 hours.
How about number of batches?
2.
2?
Couldn't, because I
Couldn't
had
at all?
whiskey dick, yes.
Whiskey did keep you from batching?
Right, I wanted to at 5 o'clock.
All right,
and Alki was also on the couch next to me. So.
All right, very smart. So, Earl, number of batches?
None.
And Fez?
1 attempted.
You fell short, or did you turn yourself down?
Effects, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's been a while for you, huh?
Yeah, it really has.
And it's just completely limp, or you can't come?
I can't come.
Wow. That's got to be frustrating. Now you got to build up, too.
Yeah. I mean, it has been in a while.
Wow. Doesn't that lead to some kind of cancer?
Yes.
If you got to build up, which one is it?
Testicular.
Testicular is
or
colon?
prostate.
Prostate cancer. You're right.
I think
Wiley's right.
Isn't that your asshole, though?
Well, it's gland, right?
Yeah, it's the gland that, it's...
In taint area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
They can't, check it through your piss hole, so they have to go the other way. That's what you're thinking.
It's kind of up and in. Up and in.
Up and in.
What kind of lube did you use? Or did you just go...
He's not a luber.
Really?
You're the only luber.
Oh, yeah, I love Lubriderm and KY.
That's because of your bad skin conditions.
Yes, I know.
All right, is this going to go on for another 24 hours? Because I believe that you guys were on point today. Seriously, I want to say to each one of you, I was very impressed with you today.
I'm in.
I am in.
Now, by the way of saying this, is today's show going to be even 2 times better than, what I mean? Or is it going to go up even higher than that?
Oh, boy. I think if we could just match today's show, that would be the goal.
Yeah, because you loved it today, huh?
Yeah, I
did. You loved
did.
the high feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really skating high.
Earl, can we count on you?
I'm not so sure anymore, but I'll gut it out. I'm going to totally gut it out.
Earl, I haven't seen you be positive like the other guys.
I think this has been a great experience.
Yeah, I honestly think we should. I wish we could almost stay up together, but
and like Jerry Lewis, I think we can do $1 better tomorrow.
That's right.
Wow, that's crazy talk. Pitsy, what about you?
Keep it going, Ronnie. I'm ready to go.
Wow, I'm stunned by this. I'm going to just say something. I'm going to beg all of you to stop now. Just please. It could be too good.
That's the optimism from someone who likes that.
I've never had more energy than right now.
Yeah, I noticed that about you. You're very energetic today. You're on point.
I feel great. Yeah. I mean, today I felt like I was looking at like 3 or 4 runs. I was fuzzy.
Yeah.
Now I just feel. I wish we could go walk around Central Park. Let's be buddies again.
Man, we used to really be close, right?
Yeah.
We were
Let's
pals.
do it. And then we would stop every 20 feet and sit on a bench because Fez couldn't walk.
What happened in those days?
Problem.
You know what? I will tell you what happened in those days, Pitsy. We were 2 couples, me, you, Fez, and Earl.
Yeah.
And then when we became 5, everything was awkward.
You can't fit 5 in a booth.
Nope. You can't fit comfortably in a diner, nothing.
You're right.
It's really weird.
So Pitsy fucked things up for us.
Yeah.
All right.
So much.
I'm bringing it back together with the no sleep, though.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Sorry, I just had to kick somebody out who was sitting in the same chair as me.
Oh,
Very uncomfortable. But as you guys have launched your sleep deprivation, you made it through. You get to recount that you met, as we discussed, big celebrity Bill Russell the day prior. Do you have any recollection of this meeting at all?
sports legend. Yes. Yeah, of course. Of course. When I meet a sports legend like Bill Russell, I remember, even if it's just for, and honestly, I don't think I met him. I think I saw him. But yes, when I see a sports star like that, that stays in my memory forever. I could tell you, when I was a little kid, being in New York City, and because my mom would always take us into New York City because she's from New York. And just to show us around, and we're at around Rockefeller Plaza, but we were in the car, we hadn't parked yet. And I looked next to my right, somebody in a Corvette. He looks familiar. It was Boris Becker, famous tennis player, and I spotted him in the car. And I go, "Mom, that's Boris Becker over there." They're laughing, thinking, "Oh, he's crazy. He probably just looks like him. He's a little kid." And
come on, like, Dave, you have got to be kidding me.
But my mom was a big tennis. She played tennis at the time, and she's like, "Oh my God, that is Boris Becker." Seeing Bill Russell I hung out with Derek Jeter after I didn't hang out, but Derek Jeter was dating a Fordham dancer. Okay, in 1996, his rookie year, after the Yankees won the World Series, he came to a Fordham bar with Shane Spencer, and I bought him a shot.
Hell
of
yeah,
Jägermeister. of all.
Did he say thank you?
Horrified. Now, he smiled and was sort of friendly, but the way he looked at me, he thought I had put cyanide in that fucking thing. And he gave it to Shane Spencer, who kind of looks like he could be in my family, like a redheaded guy. And Shane Spencer's like, I'll drink it. And by the way, he lasted like only 3 more years on the Yankees. Derek Jeter lasted for 20 more years on the Yankees.
Makes
so
sense.
anytime I get to meet a sports legend, I get very excited. Yes, Bill Russell, one of the greatest of all time.
So you were very pumped about that. Earl was incredibly excited. He pointed out that even though he was, a fan of the Knicks, that this guy was a legend. He redefined the game. And then Ron points out he didn't redefine the game, Earl. He defined the game. Like, he was the first of his kind. Like, he kind of made basketball bigger, which was very cool. But Ron
Bill
also
Russell innovated shot blocking. That's for sure. Shot blocking and rebounding and defense were not things that people took seriously in that kind of, I hate to say it, but ancient NBA. Bill Russell was known as someone who could block shots with both arms, which, he was a lefty, but even today's day and age in the NBA, the real shot blockers with the guys who do it with both arms. There's still a lot of guys who will only use the one arm. The problem is sometimes that one arm, if the offensive player has the shoulder protecting the ball and you're doing one arm, that's when you're fouling the guy. Exactly. Bill Russell said you use both arms, you're going to be able to have those angles, block the shot, and not foul the guy. So that combined with the rebounding, Russell showed how important rebounding is. Those are innovations that he contributed without a doubt. So, yeah, he did define some brand new basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like is that Ron tried, in his words, I'm guessing this didn't actually happen, he tried to teach Bill Russell something new called a hand check. And then he starts hand checking you on air.
Some of those eras, in the 80s and all through the 90s, the hand checks were basically, they'd be called for a holding penalty in the NFL. And that's why, when people talk about Jordan, you go, do you guys understand that Jordan was grasped and held his entire fucking career, and he still averaged 31 points a game for his career? And he was getting held fucking on every play.
Oh, absolutely. And I was laughing. Pepper was having his whole thing about Sean Payton's bounty system on the Davey Max Sports program and how bad it was when the Pistons were in interviews being like, yeah, we have the Jordan rules. We're going to kill him before we give him an easy shot. And it was like, have fun, Jordan. Good luck. Yeah.
And by the way, if we want to make this about like a modern day thing, just real quick aside, that's why everyone hated the Pistons and thought they were pieces of shit. So, a lot of that is happening with Caitlin Clark, where people, she gets fouled, and people are like, why would you foul this megastar? In the same way that, people didn't like the Pistons. Even I was a Knicks fan. I am a Knicks fan, too. But Michael Jordan was something incredibly special, and people don't want to see Michael Jordan get clotheslined and then break his leg and be out for the rest of the season.
And if you're doing that, they don't like you. I was laughing. We'll finish up the aside real quick. Did you see the video of Dwight Howard playing pickup basketball that's going viral?
No.
His teammate misses 5 layups in a row, gets his own rebound, and then finally puts it in and does a chest bump as he's running back. And Dwight goes, hell yeah, he's on that Angel Reese. That Angel Reese.
She's getting known for just missing her shots and padding her rebound stats. But anyway, we're not going into that.
We're not going into that, but we will continue a little bit with basketball because you pointed out there was somebody else there who was another big star who Ron shut down right away and went by comparison. Come on. But I was a little frustrated because it's my brother's namesake. Clyde the Glide Drexler was there.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that? I mean, I would see Bill Russell overshadowing. But
I hate to say it. I remember Bill Russell. I don't actually remember seeing Clyde Drexler, but I'm sure it's true. Hey, Clyde Drexler was a hell of a basketball player, okay, with the Houston University. And then obviously Portland Trailblazers. The worst mistake, the worst thing that ever happened to Clyde Drexler was them giving him the MVP in 92, because then when they faced the Bulls in the finals, Jordan hit the fucking 6 threes in the first half, and then they fucking Bulls rode right over him. But he did get his NBA championship when he went to the Houston Rockets for the second of their back-to-back championships in the mid-90s. So Drexler was a hell of a player, a dream teamer, a Hall of Famer. Great player.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, namesake to my brother.
Your brother's really named after Clyde Drexler?
Yeah, his name's Clyde.
Oh, okay.
He's named after my grandfather with the same name, but kind of like Stanley. I say it's because of Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Walt Clyde Frazier. You could say he's named after Walt Frazier. Clyde was his nickname.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was that big of a name. But I, as a listener, was kind of like, why were all these random stars, former NBA stars, at the same hotel? Like, I get it's New York City, but those two guys weren't on the same team ever. You know what I mean? Like, what were they doing?
Probably in town for some NBA function.
And they were in town, but not for an NBA function. We find out the hotel was hosting an MLK concert. And Pitsy right away goes, "Oh, that's why everybody looked at us like, why are you the only white guys here for the MLK concert?" Those Long Island colors run deep, huh?
You see what I mean? The Long Island came out real quick, and only the Long Island guy would jump to that conclusion. In fact, only the Long Island guy would notice that. I didn't notice anyone staring at us, by the way.
And Ron right away shows off his radio brilliance and goes, "They weren't staring at us because we were white. They thought we were, what was that country star who was supposed to be there?" And you realized it was Garth Brooks. He was like, "Yeah, they thought we were Garth Brooks." So they came up and like, "Are you Garth?" And I was like, "No, I'm Billy Ray Cyrus." And they were like, "Thank you." So it kind of gets Pitsy out of the racial statement he made of like, "We almost had to fight our way out of there, didn't we, Ronnie?"
Oh, the amount of I wish I could have gotten Pitsy out of the racial statement at the Pearl Jam concert that he got us ejected from in 2010. Thanks a lot, pal. I still want to see that Pearl Jam show. I only got 3 songs before your racial statement.
And you know what's interesting is it was you guys were smoking one of those cannabis cigarettes, right?
No, it was regular cigarettes.
Oh, a regular cigarette. I thought it was weed, and that's why they initially came over. But I was going to say, that doesn't seem like a weed move. You don't right away jump to, going there. But that is a cocaine move.
And like I said, it was a cigarette. So, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was just a regular cigarette. You used to be able to light up anything you wanted in Madison Square Garden. I miss those days. We're talking a joint or even a cigarette. For a rock show, yes. Now those days are long gone.
Yeah, even like there are some venues where you can get away with it, but if it's anything big, they shut it down right away.
You got to go outdoors. The last time I actually smoked was like a GNR, me and Roy at GNR. I mean, it's fucking Giant Stadium,
Was that the last time you smoked at a stadium? Or was it Metallica?
Oh, it was definitely Metallica. Yeah. I forgot about the Metallica show.
No, we did it. We walked around, smoked a joint.
No, I know. I'm saying I forgot.
It's okay. No worries, man.
You're right.
We had a great time.
That was a fucking awesome show, man. Both at MetLife Stadium, by the way.
Both were at MetLife. Another place, I know you're not a fan of them, but the Mets Stadium, there's a nice area where they've kind of it's a known fact where the security just is like, just go there.
No, they are doing you. So Roy and I, they have an outdoor area where they allow you to even like walk out of the gate, and they're not going to ask for your tickets and shit, and you can just smoke at MetLife. So we did that a couple times.
That's beautiful.
Like anything that Axel played off of Chinese Democracy.
This is our time.
Yeah, Roy's like, let's go outside for a smoke. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I do want to hear Madagascar, but he's like, what? I'm like, never mind. Just continue.
I can hear it from here. But no, so that was cool. I liked Ron's line. As the show kind of progresses, the idea comes. A caller calls in and goes, "Why ended it one night? Like everybody sounds great." Ron points out, "Fez, you sound like you're on fire." Old Dave is back. He says, kind of leaning into the bit, and you're sleep deprived at this point. That's all it takes.
And
is
being
him saying
heel.
he likes that. Yeah, likes what you're doing. So you kind of. So right away, Fez is like, "I'll do it. I can stay up." You go, I'll try. I'll do it." Pitts is in. Earl goes right away, "I cannot do this." And as much as I like to give Earl a hard time, I kind of respect the honesty of like, I'm not even going to tease you guys and say I'm going to try. I'm out. I'm going to sleep. Ron guilt trips him. Ron goes, "You got to do it, Earl. Come on, you're not going to be the one member of the team who lets everybody down. Everybody's a team player, right? You bring up the idea we should all drink together," which I think is funny.
I believe that's the second time in a row I've suggested that with this contest.
Absolutely. And you know what? I get it, though, because that night, it'll be easier. Night 2, staying together, like keeping each other up in person would be a lot easier than you each at your own apartment trying to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So I kind of see where you're coming from there. You go, "Mr. B, I'm feeling so good right now. I just want to convince everybody that they should do this too." And then you sing a song that you feel like singing. Do you remember the song?
No. Not a clue. Okay, hold on.
Do you want me to give you the artist?
So it's I was going to ask. It's a legit song. It's not some
legit
stupid song
song.
that I'm like fucking okay.
It's by one of my favorite artists, one who I didn't think you really liked, which is why I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay, can you give me the decade of when this song would have come out?
Give me 1 second to Google it.
Oh my
it
god!
It came out
he
before
never
I
knows
was
dates. You know, I need to know goddamn dates. I'm a date man. I like dates. I like months. I like years. You know, I don't need days, but I do like a year.
Havana Dreaming was the album in 1976.
That's Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett, yeah. Do you know the song? My feet hurt, or my feet stink.
My head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus?
Yes,
I
sir.
sang that?
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't think of you as a parrot head.
You didn't know that I'm a parrot head? I'm an absolutely closeted parrot head. I love Jimmy Buffett.
The number of road trips we could have just jammed out to Buffett then that we missed.
What are you talking about? We've played fucking Cheeseburger in Paradise and shit.
Yeah, but I didn't know you knew deep cuts like my head hurts, my feet stink, and I don't believe in Jesus.
My head
I'm
hurts,
so proud of you.
my feet stink, and I don't love Jesus. Nobody stop. That kind of morning really was that kind of night. Trying to tell myself that my condition is improving, and if I don't die by Thursday, I'll be rolling Friday night. Went down to the snake pit to drink a little beer. Listen to the jukebox. It's coming in clear. All of a sudden, I won the loan. Drinking country music with old Joe Bones. Our Duval Street was rocking. My eyes then started popping because there she sat at the corner of a bar like another broken string on my own guitar. Someone call a cab. Lady, won't you pay my tab? Well, now my head hurts, my feet stink. That's a great fucking all-time Jimmy Buffett song.
It's one of my favorites too. Like I said, I was just impressed. I didn't realize you were such a big parrot head. That's not one of his main songs either. If you go, hey, to a random person,
no,
that's
but
amazing.
It's a great song. It sounds like it should have been like in a late 70s Burt Reynolds movie. It's just got that Burt Reynolds.
It really does. Yeah, like that barfly. It would fit in perfectly.
Yeah, he's either driving or the sheriff is after him and he's making goofy faces. You know, he's doing something with a car and there's a sheriff.
My favorite is Come Monday. But growing up,
Monday,
I thought it was
be all right. Come Monday. Hey, I'll be holding you tight. I spent 4 lonely days in brown LA haze. And I just want you back by my side.
But I often thought it should be Come On Babe instead of Come Monday. Because then you could sing it any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
But what are you going to do? So you sing your Jimmy Buffett. Ron did not let you get nearly as deep as I did before he cut you off. You got out the first 3 lines and he went, no Buffett, and just moved on.
No Buffett. He doesn't like Weird Buffett. I think he puts Jimmy Buffett, one of the funniest things he ever said. I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan, and then I'm a big They Might Be Giants fan. And he said about They Might Be Giants, because I actually think that they've written some cool songs. Like, they have the songs sometimes have a very light, fun approach, and yet the subject matter is actually quite dark, a parent dying, or I'm going to become a serial killer. But it's fun. It's weird.
Yeah, kind of like the whole genre of ska.
Yeah, and I gave him that, and he said, They Might Be Giants. Aren't they like Weird Al Yankovic? And I believe he puts Jimmy Buffett in the same category.
I could see that. Kind of doing his own thing. It's not really rock. It's not country. It's not really pop. It's, I could see where he's
he puts him as like comedy acts, I think, or at least he did with They Might Be Giants. But that was only because I was enthusiastic about it. I don't know if he even means it for real. But Jimmy Buffett, I know he gets a lot of shit. Okay, look,
he got a lot of shit.
And I do have regular albums. But sometimes you just got to find that artist with a good best of. That's a good best of artist. You don't have to guilt trip me. I just gave you My Head Hurts, My Feet Stink, and I Don't Love Jesus. That song somehow is not even on the best of.
No, it's amazing.
But I'm telling you, a Jimmy Buffett best of album, it sounds great. And it's a great time to have a couple drinks, whether they be margaritas or Coronas. You're going to have a good time.
We used to drive all the time from Memphis, Tennessee to Youngstown, Ohio. So like cassette tapes that you could play front to back were huge. And that was one of the go-tos, as was Harry Chapin. Like those storytelling songs, because even as a kid, you can listen to music and kind of go to where he's going, even though you're not drunk as a 6-year-old.
He went to Paris.
Looking for answers. That's what I said. That's why I asked if that's why you were sneaking out the window looking for answers, because I knew it was coming up later.
There it is, the Ron and Fez show. I'm Ron, there's Fez.
Hiya, buddies.
Fez, yesterday, it was no sleep till Brooklyn. You and the boys tried to see how long you can go without sleep. At the end of the show yesterday, you said, let's keep it going. One more night.
Yeah, let's keep moving. Let's go for it. Let's take this to the extreme.
All right, let's take a look around. Earl, what time did you go to sleep last night?
I tapped out around 12:54.
12:54, and what kind of shape were you in?
I was done. Everything just collapsed. I woke up this morning in my street clothes. I just fell asleep.
You passed out in your clothes?
Yeah.
Instead of the black pajamas?
No, yeah, instead of the black pajamas.
We're the adversary, Fez, the man in the black pajamas.
Yeah, 12:54.
12:54. All right, let's go over to Pidsey. Pidsey.
I passed out at 1:15.
1:15, a half an hour later. And what kind of shape were you in?
I just crashed. The same thing as Earl. I fell asleep with what I was in, and I woke up this morning.
Why wouldn't you guys at least say to yourselves, I'm going to take my clothes off? And... All right, here is our own East Side Dave. David?
After Pitsy, I thought I could make it, and unfortunately I had to make a phone call to Fez at 2:53 saying I'm out. That was one of the more depressing phone calls I've ever made, but I was literally hallucinating, and I was watching Hotel Rwanda to stay awake.
Rwanda.
And I really was paranoid that people were going to break into my house and try to murder me, so it was
That's
rough.
Not paranoia. That's just you being on point. All right, so what time last night?
2:53, I believe, is when I called Fez.
All right, what time did you wake up this morning?
I woke up a couple times, 7:30, and I went back to sleep, and then I woke up at like 9:30.
All right, were those hours that you got, was it worth it for you? Do you feel refreshed and back to normal?
No, I feel like I should have stayed awake.
Okay.
So it was a bad mistake.
All right, and Fez?
I'm still up, Ronnie.
Wow.
I am still up.
3 times older, twice the weight of anybody else in this. And look at Fez Whatley. He's still up and still going.
Yeah, apparently I'm on my own in this.
No, not just this, Fezzy. Everything in life.
Yeah, like if this was a business retreat out in the woods, one of those programs, I'd be standing in the forest by myself. Everyone else would have gone home.
If this was a business retreat out in the woods, you'd be blowing a coworker. So that has nothing to do with anything. But the point is, you should feel good today. You are the big winner. Fez Whatley, the big winner. Let's hear it for him.
Thank you.
I'd like to take my hats off to him.
But here's what really depresses me. This was all about team.
Yeah.
Team. And you guys let Fezzy down.
Well.
And I told you yesterday I thought Fez would win this because he's got more guts than the rest of you.
Right. I mean, you can look at it like that, or you can look at it the way I do is this makes Fez feel good about himself. Fez has a championship
Don't
now.
do me any fucking favors.
Now he act like he threw it to you, Fez.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I know I wanted to win this, but at 2:53 when I was talking to you on the phone,
right.
Wasn't I trying to talk you into staying in this? Even though I wanted to win it?
You said, yeah, are we staying together? And I said, I don't think so.
Now,
I feel like I'm going crazy.
First of all, I've gotten pictures sent to me from the day before 6:30 in the morning that shows you asleep on Pal Talk. You sleeping next to Irish Alky. You're in a big Easy chair. So that you're busted. You finished last.
Wait a second.
And that was almost the same exact time that he accused Pitsy of sleeping. And then two, Fezzi, my mailbox was filled today with my Pal Talk spies sending me pictures of Sheepy sleeping on Pal Talk last night, for some reason acting like he was in the contest.
Why would Sheepy do that? That makes no sense. He's not part of it. Why is he trying to glom on to this?
I don't know if he glommed on or not, but he is crazy, Jen, where he hears an idea, so he believes that that's his idea.
Right, get your own gimmick, Sheepy. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Whoa.
God.
Where is that coming from? What do you mean, whoa?
No, I mean, whoa. I just thought that it was fun for Sheepy to do
Look how much he's against the team.
He really is.
I'm not against the team. I'm for competition.
This is 3 times you've taken shots at Fez. Was he in this? You know what reminds me of Fez? You ever been to a track meet where little kids will try to run around while the guys are running track? They will try to run on the inside thing for the last 100 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And people go over and stop them because they're throwing off everybody's pace. That's where that is at. And you showed your teammanship today. Everything that Fez, the emails that Fez has sent to Wiki about you,
right,
are 100% correct.
What emails? What
I'm
are you
sending emails. I get asked for my opinion.
Uh-oh.
So you guys finish up the show. The last real point with regards to sleep that Ron asked about is how many times you guys batched throughout the night.
How many times you what?
Batched.
Oh, jerked it?
Jerked it, yeah.
Not if I'm drinking.
You said you couldn't because of whiskey dick.
Yeah.
Pitsy says twice. Earl, no comment.
It's not whiskey dick, by the way. It's whiskey jizz. I can always get the erection, but there's no jizzing usually. So I say, well, what's the point? 2 hours of spanking and my arm gets tired.
Yeah, and if you're spanking, what's the point? Like, if there's a chick, then she's going to have a great time at least. You know, exactly. I get it. So it doesn't even really, Earl doesn't get brought up because it gets to Fez, who goes, 1 attempt. And everybody kind of laughs at him, and he goes, no, I'm on Alexor. And Ron goes, oh, it's been a while then, huh? And he goes, yeah, like you can get hard, you just can't come. Kind of like whiskey jizz.
Yeah.
And then you guys point out, like, can't you get some type of cancer if you don't nut? And you go, ball cancer. They go, it's not ball cancer. Find out it's prostate cancer. And that kind of sums up day 1 of no sleep. And everybody has agreed to go into day 2 of no sleep. Now, you finished the radio show. As opposed to everybody else who's just been up, you've been drinking. How loopy are you getting throughout this?
I'm getting loopy, but then again, I'm feeling like drink a lot of Coca-Cola, Pepsi. You know, sugar's going to be my friend. Sugar will be my ally. Sour Patch Kids. And I felt very, very confident that this could be done. But if I was going to make it, real psychosis would set in. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we come to the next day and we find out who tapped out at what point. And I got to tell you, I'm proud of everybody for making it as far as they did. Do you know what Penn State's dance marathon is? They call it Thon.
No, what?
So it's the biggest student philanthropy in the nation. They raised $14 million for the Four Diamonds Fund, which is a children's cancer research fund every year. But the premise is it started with fraternities and sororities, and they would dance. It was like an all-night dance thing, and then it became 24 hours straight of dancing, and then it became 46 is the number they've settled on. So you don't sit down and you stay up for 46 hours straight. You don't have to dance. My second senior year, I didn't like the guy who looked like he was going to win to be our dancer. So I ran against him and got elected and did not take any of the suggestions they give for you to stay up for 3 days straight without sitting seriously at all. Like you're supposed to cut out caffeine a month beforehand.
Oh my God.
And I was like, fuck that. You're not supposed to just smoke weed or drink. And I was drinking every night up through it.
Well, that's impossible.
Yeah, it was just, but so then.
Without sitting?
Yeah, so like you're doing a lot of leaning like this. Yeah. I took a lot of sit down peas.
Fuck that. That's straight up torture. I'm not doing that shit.
But again, everybody's there and they wouldn't let you drink caffeine or have sugar for that time because they're like, we don't want you to dehydrate yourself. And everybody's playing by the rules except for your boy who's like, I can out tough these pussies. So I had a buddy sneak me down a dab pen. And I was just ripping dabs I couldn't feel pain. I was feeling great. But going into the last morning, I had no memory. Like I could not remember anything at all. Like you could be like, your name's Bobby, and so like I called the person who's supposed to be your morale. Was like, I think I'm fucking dying. Like it was a whole thing.
Sleep deprivation is obviously something they use to get to interrogate people with because it works. But you got to be careful because you sleep deprive someone too much, they're just going to say insane shit. You know, like they might not say anything that makes any sense, but they're just going to tell you something because they've lost their fucking minds. Anyway, what happens with this shit?
With your story?
No, I want to know who made it. You teased.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with your story. So we're getting into it. The first person we found out fell, if you had to guess, of the 4 staying awake.
Pitsy.
It's a no-brainer. Nope.
Earl.
12:54. And I'll say this for him. He made the attempt. I mean, he almost made it till 1 a.m. Like, at least he tried.
That's pretty good.
He's bringing his A game. Pitsy tapped out around 2.
Yeah, I was going to say Pitsy next. Fez, me.
Then you tapped out at 2:53, Dave.
Oh, wow. So Fez won.
So when you said you tapped out, Fez did win, yeah. He is the only one of the crew who made it both nights. Give it up for Fez. But before we get too into his victory, Ron kind of grills you a little bit. He goes, so you tapped out at 2:53. What time did you sleep until? And you go, till 7. Then I went back to sleep till 9. And Ron goes, was it worth it? And you say the saddest sentence of my of the whole story we listened to, which is no, it wasn't. And calling, what made it worse was calling to tell Fez I was tapping out was like the most disappointed in myself I've been in a long time. And it's like truly a moment of, maybe you were playing it up for air, but dude, I felt with you. I was like, I think Dave was going for this.
I was probably.
And I really hurt.
I more than likely was, and I'm going to always, I'm gonna play with everything I got, but I'm also gonna play honestly. And yeah, I was going for it. So this was 2:53 p.m.
AM.
Oh, AM.
Okay. Yeah. Like in the middle of the night. So you only got about 7 hours worth of sleep. Ron points out at this point, Fez kind of stepped up and the team let him down. And you try to save face for the team, and I kind of like it because you go, or did we make Fez feel like he's the champion? He had his old strength back.
Come
and Fez
on.
goes, don't do me any fucking favors, Dave.
Hey, like, that was a good, insightful comment on my part.
Yeah.
We just made Fez the champion. And after last episode of Tales from the Satellite, that's why we wanted to do this one, because we wanted to present Fez Whatley as the champion that he is. And he was the one to do it. I couldn't do it. But it would have been, so when I tapped out, it was probably what, like around 40 hours or?
So you were at 30 hours on air the day prior because a woman's like, I'm stay up 27 hours straight every Friday. And you're like, yeah, I'm at 30. He's at 29 and I've been drinking. So it probably would have been plus 12.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
somewhere
40,
around there.
42 hours, something like that. That's pretty fucking good. And I'm being honest, I tapped out. I was up that entire time. No bullshit whatsoever. So 42 straight hours, I'll take that. That's pretty good.
Not bad at all. And that's like not using stimulants either.
No, I was using depressants of anything else.
Yeah, that's my point. You were fighting against yourself. But you're hungover. It's got to be tough. Then Ron reveals that he has a Pal Talk photo from one of his spies from the night prior, at the time that you were supposedly calling Pitsy, that shows you asleep on the couch next to Mooch. And maybe you didn't make it through the night. Was this a work? Was this just something to kind of keep it going in case if there wasn't stuff?
Stupid fucking listener, trying to take away my achievements per usual, not understanding who the fucking man is and giving me some shit when you don't recognize goddamn fucking genius when you see it, you dumb fucking idiot. I stayed up that entire time. Laying down, first of all, I don't even think I laid down. But it was impossible for me not to. I didn't cheat in day one. I was the guy fucking calling Pez, Fez, Pitsy, and Earl every 15 minutes. How the hell am I going to fucking cheat at that?
I kind of assumed that's what was going on. The only reason why I brought it up, in addition to letting you
Glad
answer,
you brought it up.
is I thought perhaps you guys were doing one of those things where you tell everybody you're staying up and then just make Fez stay up for as long. It's like if Fez was feeling good about it, you don't want to pull the rug from him. That's why I was curious. Maybe that, but it seems like that is not what was going on.
That would have been good in some ways. I don't know.
In addition to Pal Talk, we learned somebody tried to join in and pretend they were a part of the crew staying up all night on Pal Talk, and that was Sheepy. And Ron's like, why does he have to be a part of it? And you kind of defend him. And you're like, I thought it would be cool if, anybody who wanted to do it could be a part of the show. But it is kind of funny how even, the old saying, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it?
Yeah.
Like, that's how influential the Ron and Fez show was, that the producers were staying up all night. So people were like, fuck it, I'll do it too.
It's a fun thing to do.
And then there was one last question we'll end the show with on this one that I saw in the comments of the source material for this one, which was, how long do you think this was prior to Earl's inability to sleep right? Like, if you think about it sequentially, like it would have kind of been in that same time frame where he started really having the insomnia. And I wonder if this is kind of what sparked it off. A lot of the mental issues.
This was the origin story of the Earl insomnia tale.
That's what people in the comments were speculating. Like, it may have led to that, or it could have been Dr. Steve always seemed to think he had some condition. It may have been like, this is where it exacerbated his condition to the point where it really started to
He's got a
affect
lot
him.
of conditions. Number one, insanity. I mean, that's an important condition that he has. He just hides it better than anyone else. But he's a fucking crazy person. I can't tell you people how crazy he is. No, it's not a bit that he would take a fork and knife and eat candy with it and shit. Or who goes to a steakhouse and orders spaghetti and a baked potato?
That's a lot of carbs.
Steakhouse. You order spaghetti and a baked potato?
And no steak.
Zero steak, zero meat of any kind. You're in the best steakhouse in Washington, D.C., and you're getting a spaghetti and baked potato. When he did that, I go, he is crazier than Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver. Okay? Like, that to me was scary.
Oh, yeah, big time. I think this episode was the opposite of an Earl order at a steakhouse. It was full of meat and deliciousness, Dave, man.
Earl did a good job. Pitsy did a good job. I did a good job. I got runner-up, one of my few non-championships, but I gave it my all, and I'm not hanging my head in any single way. But Fez is the champion. He's the champion today, and he gets the acknowledgement. He wins this. He wins this one.
He did, and it well-deserved. And as Ron kind of pointed out, it brought back some of the silliness you not used to, but as you became more seasoned on air, it was less just crazy sporadic moments of Dave and more just Dave. So it kind of made you be crazy the whole show. It brought that energy back. Pitsy was talking more than usual. Earl was a success the first night. When's the last time we did a story where Earl was in? So maybe the sleep deprivation is the key to success. Who knows?
Listen, there's a little truth to that. For instance, when I was working at the Rat on my and having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do a show at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am a firm believer that if you do sports, you cannot watch Sports Center. You can't listen to WFAN. You have to watch the games. It's about the games. If you love sports and you love doing sports shows, then you have to watch the games. You can't cheat. You can't watch highlights. You can't rely on ESPN and Sports Center. You must watch the games. It's a practice that I still believe in. I would notice sometimes, big Yankee postseason game or the Knicks, for instance, this past year, that if they would get a big win, and then I would watch the post-game, coverage. I'm not getting to bed sometimes 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because I would also have a little bit of that adrenaline if the Knicks or Yankees won the game, right? Which means I'm only getting 3 hours at 5 a.m. some of the best shows I ever had, though, were only getting those 3 hours. So
absolutely.
I am someone who's not afraid to get a little sleep. All-nighter, that's a little thing. But I think if you sometimes have like just a little sleep, you're actually very loose. It's like getting a little bit of a buzz with the booze, only you're completely sober.
Absolutely.
You know, you're more uninhibited. What's the word? Uninhibited, inhibited. Whatever.
Yeah, you're uninhibited.
Yeah. You're open. You're free. You're ready to fucking go with the flow a little bit. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it's same with comedy. If I'm doing stand up and I have gotten like I need about an hour where I can either just shut my eyes, even though I don't fully go to sleep. But if I do that, I'm on fire. Like you're not thinking. You know. Sometimes you slip and say things you shouldn't, but most of the time you're good to go. You know?
I mean,
in the same way when you would stay up all night to do like a presentation for school, you always did well the next day because you weren't nervous because you were exhausted. So
that's
lots
right.
of good points there. Dave, you don't get a lot of sleep because you've got a lot going on, whether it be the Davey Max Sports program every Monday at noon, whether it be the
live on YouTube at Eastside Dave TV, then remastered. Video is up that night. The MP3 and the MP4 get remastered and then re-released. But so if you want to watch the show live and get into the chat, you can watch it live at noon or just wait till the remastering episode later on that night. Either way, it's up to you. We'd love it if you watched everything and listened to everything and subscribed and reviewed and liked everything. But you got to watch the Davey Max Sports program. Like I just said, check out the NFL preview special, Chris Pepper Stanley, an hour, 45-minute long episode, getting fantastic reviews. You got to be watching or listening to the Eastside Dave Son Wrestling Show. It's insane, man. Me and Stanley Mack, in just a few months, are going to be celebrating 10 years of the Eastside Dave Son Wrestling Show. I started when he was 5. And in just a few months, we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary when he's 15.
God damn,
that's
amazing.
Fucking awesome. Everyone's given the credit to Richard Linklater for that movie Boyhood or whatever, where he followed the kid. I thought it was a great idea,
and I thought it was a crime.
The movie sucked. I thought it was a bad movie, but I love the idea. If you want a better execution of that, just listen to the goddamn Eastside Dave Son Wrestling Show. You're literally getting a father-son life story depicted from the age of 5 to 15 at this point. In fact, I feel like the national press should be all over that. Yaddle Chattel, check it out. When Skeleton Crew comes out, we're going to have Yaddle Chattel. We're going to have Skeleton Crew roundups for each one. EastsideDaveCountry.com. That's my website. And make sure you're subscribing, sharing, following YouTube. Eastside Dave TV. We have so much good shit there. I mean, it is packed with content. You can stay there forever. Eastside Dave TV on YouTube. That's what we got.
Make sure you check that out. And I love the fact that a lot of people listening to this, maybe guys that used to be like, I've been doing this since I was 15. Stanley could just be like, I've been doing it since I was 5. Get the fuck out of my way. If you want to see me,
5 years old, he's been doing it.
If you want to see me do stand-up, I'll be headlining the Laughing Stock Comedy Club November 23rd in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Come check that out. That's a big one. And Dave, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Robert.
I think we say good night, radio fans.
See ya!